Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Ashley, aka MiDNiTE. I am back for another Minnesota RØKKR co-stream. I'm mad hype. I'm here as always with IKON,
What's
the
up?
co-stream duo. What's good, man, dude? What did we just watch? That
I don't
was
know.
terrible. Like, just oof.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
disaster.
that was a I was hoping OG would be able to take it against FaZe there, make their way into the winners bracket, but now they will be in the 4th seed spot for Group A there, which means they're in the losers bracket. And speaking of winners bracket, losers bracket, who's going where? The next match, RØKKR versus Dallas. It's simple, man. It's almost like they wrote it this way to happen at the last match on a Sunday. Winner goes into winners bracket next week at Major 3. Loser goes into losers bracket. If you get into winners bracket, you can afford to lose one time in the tournament next week. If you go into losers bracket, you can't lose it all. You can still win the tournament, but you'd have to make an insane run, beat everybody, take the lunch money. It would have to be insane. So you obviously want to get in that upper bracket if you can. IKON. I mean, we're facing a new look Dallas, right? I believe this is our first time facing Dallas since they benched Hook, who's now on LA Thieves. And they haven't been looking too good. I mean, they're still Dallas Empire. They still have competent playing strategy, coaching. Fellow's a great player, but are they like to where they were? I don't know. So I'd love to know your thoughts. Like, what's your impressions going into the match today?
Yeah, I mean, this is a big one. This is for you win and you get third place, you lose and you get fourth, like you said earlier. So when I look at this overall, it just seems like every time we've talked about Dallas for the last 3 or 4 weeks, it just seems like they're regressing and regressing. And each map they play, it just seems like a little bit more is out of sync. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out in their most recent matchup against Florida. Now, Minnesota also had kind of a lapse there against Florida too. They didn't have their best match in that one a couple matches ago. But in that most recent one, I thought the biggest difference in that match was that Fellow and Crim6 did not do a nice job of keeping up with Skies and Awakening. And I know that that's a really difficult task. It's not like that's something like, okay,
That is hard.
yeah, right. It's not like, okay, we're going to go out and we're going to slay with those two because they're one of the best flex main AR duos that's out there. But you have to keep it close in that regards when it comes to winning rotations and hard point and getting time. Like a lot of times, if you're capturing a control point, a lot of times you'll leave like your main AR or your flex there to finish out those points while your SMGs go try to push up and gain map control and get on the next point. And that's where they have to be super dominant, and they just weren't against Skies and Awakening. So going into this one, I think that's kind of the biggest thing for me. And especially when you look at Priesta and what Priesta was just able to do in the last matchup, especially in Search and Destroy, in that S&D against LAG, it was tight throughout, right? It went all the way down to map 5. It went to round 10. And in that S&D on Miami, Priesta went 17-4, one of the best performances that we've seen all year. So when I'm going into this one, I'm looking at, how have the flex and main ARs performed as of late? And it just seems like Priesta's kind of on fire. Accuracy's playing well, and they're not quite getting the same production out of Fellow and Crim6.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see if Priesta can really, keep things going. We talked about it the last co-stream where Priesta had a little bit of a slow start to the year. He was playing sub, and he's been a sub in previous titles. He's a great player. Feels like he can rock with anything in his hands, but he wasn't comfortable on the map. Now he's switched to, he mainly uses an AR. He still can switch out and whatnot, and he kind of switches the ARs he does use, but he seems a lot more comfortable. Almost every time they switch to him, I feel like he's ripping a two-piece. It's just nuts. It just seems like he's playing that fast-paced AR role to the T. And I don't know, it takes a little bit to get into... I would say, how's this take? It seems like a lot of the pro teams this year, they bring on these rookies, and they're usually like sub machine gun players. When you're an AR, it's way different getting integrated into the team. When you're a flex or an AR player, you can't really just like, you pour a drop of standy in and yeah, now your pace is totally different. The AR role is it's not that it's easier than a sub, but it's just different. And it takes, I think, a little bit longer for that player to warm up into that lineup. So I don't know. Do you think like Dallas has the potential to be as nasty as they were towards the beginning of the year and obviously at the end of last year, them being world champions? Or maybe it'll take some time. I don't know. I just kind of like to know your thoughts. Like, can Dallas get there? And hopefully, if they do, it doesn't happen today.
Yeah, actually, I really like that take that you just had because if you think about it, like if you drop in an SMG like Standy, he's going to do the same thing, right? That he does on any team that he's on. It's just if you're playing
Yeah,
hardpoint, get
fry.
into the kills, try to get into the hill, try to get as many kills as you can, and then just put as much pressure on as you can. Like it doesn't matter if he's playing in challengers or he's playing for Minnesota or if he's playing league play, like he's going to play that way no matter what. Whereas if you go into a different squad based on whatever that AR does or that main AR, however they like to play, they're probably going to ask for, different nuanced things from you, like where to be, where to go, where to set up and stuff like that. So it's definitely a solid point with why things might be starting a little bit slower than Dallas would like. But even with that being said, you have to figure, I mean, they won champs last year. They started off this year pretty hot. I know a lot of that did have to do with how well Hugh was playing, but they've got the facilities, they've got the coaching staff, they've got the young SMGs, and Crimsex he's experienced as anybody in the league. So you have to figure that eventually they'll probably get it figured out, even though it doesn't look great right now. But you'd rather make that roster move and have struggles during the third stage than try to make that and realize, oh man, this isn't going well. Let's make a roster move at the end of stage 5 and hopefully we can find something in champs. So even though they're struggling right now, it is maybe a little bit past halfway of the season. So make the move now, try to figure things out. That way, when it comes down to stage 5 and champs, you're good to go.
I think that's exactly right. And up until now, we've been able to see kind of the rest of the groups shake out. We are the last match of the stage going up against the defending world champions, and it's their home series. Man, I really hope we can rain on that parade. That would be sick. Um, well, how do you feel about just how the other groups shook out, right? Was it predictable that RØKKR would maybe be in this scenario where, oh my gosh, we have to win or beat Dallas once again to make it to winner's bracket? What's kind of your biggest surprise, or I guess or did everything kind of happen predictably as you thought it might?
Yeah, well, I think if you look over at Group B, I think that there were less surprises there because in Group B, you kind of figured that, okay, Atlanta's probably going to win the group, which I don't know if they have the tiebreak win over New York or not. But after Atlanta, you figured, well, there's 3 other really good teams. You have New York, you have LA Thieves, you have Chicago. And of those 3, 2 of them have to make it. And that's kind of what we saw all the way down to the wire, as close as the last matchup, right? If Optic would have won, they would have ended up being in winners. So that kind of held true, that those 3 teams that were right in the middle, who's going to be the one that's in, who's going to be the one that's out. And it just so happens that Chicago finishes in 4th place in that group. The only surprise over in Group A is that you basically figured that it would be Toronto, Dallas, and Minnesota, in whatever order you want to go from there. Toronto absolutely has been on fire. They've been shredding. They look like the best team in the CDL. I don't think anybody can really debate that at this point in time. But the only thing that threw a monkey wrench in the thing is that Florida's been playing super well. So sometimes that happens, right? Every team in the CDL is capable of going on some sort of run. Doesn't matter what day it is, they can show up and Florida can 3-0 Dallas, or they can take a pretty decisive win over Minnesota if Minnesota wasn't playing well, like they weren't in that matchup. So I think that's probably the only surprise. LAG and Paris, I don't think many people were super high on them, even though after bringing in Sheen, they did look a little bit better. But we'll see what happens here. It's either Dallas or Minnesota. One's going to be the 3 seed, one's going to be the 4 seed. And that's the only thing that's really different from what we predicted over in Group A.
I'm so nervous, dude. It would mean a lot to just be able to start in the winner's bracket once again. But God, it's going to be so hard to get through the crown. We have to do it. I mean, hey, if you're going to hope to play Empire for a spot in the winners bracket. I guess it is right now after they've had this team shift. It's they literally won the first match of the stage and they were like, let's make a change, and they've went 1-2 since, so they're still a good team. um I do think that they will be good with Fellow. I'm not sure how quickly it's going to happen, being that his role is a little bit different. And now I know this is the marquee match, and the fans voted for the Game Fuel Spotlight, or whatever the heck it's called, featured player. Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
They voted for it to be Standy. In
Let's
your mind,
go.
who is the player on RØKKR that needs to perform? As I mean, obviously, they all need to perform as well as possible to beat Empire, but like, who is like a standout to you on RØKKR that if they perform well, it's highly likely that RØKKR will win?
Well, we touched on it maybe a tiny bit earlier with the Flex and AR matchup, whereas, like we said, when Fellow and Crim6 didn't play all that great and Skies and Awakening fried, that's enough in and of itself to probably beat Dallas. But I like the fact that it was chosen for Standy to be that matchup player there, just because as of late, if you're watching Dallas, it seems like we've been waiting all year. I know we've talked about it before, but you've just been waiting and waiting and waiting for Shotzi to finally look like Shotzi that we saw last year. And this is a big matchup, right? Because Shotzi and Standy, they both kind of play that same role. So last time that we saw Minnesota in that matchup against LAG, Standy was absolutely on fire. It was Standy had a 1.3 in that series. Priest had a 1.23 in that series. I think if Standy can come out and play that way again, and if Shotzi, I don't want to say struggles, but he's kind of the same as of late. He's been playing better, but he's not been putting up 1.3s. He's not been putting up 1.4s. If he goes somewhere around even, then that is what it is. But I think that matchup is also pretty crucial just when it comes to winning hill time and, getting those cuts as defense comes off spawn, trying to get back to control points and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's a big spot for Stanny to be in. We'll see what he comes out with today.
Yeah, I hope Standy can go big. I hope all the guys can go big. Honestly, I think that's what it's going to take to get this win and make sure we're in winners bracket next week. Guys, I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in to the co-stream. If it's your first time, make sure to tell your friends about it. Let's get some more people here in the chat. Shout out Hunter coming in here after a hard match, or a hard optic match to watch. Rooting for RØKKR to turn my night around. Happy Mother's Day, Ashley to baby Simba. I am not a mother, but I am a cat mom, so that's that. Other folks in the chat: Mason, Northwoods, Dexter, Evil. What's up, man? Dylan's in the chat. Yo, Thunder Hips. Whew, I'm nervous, bro. Let's keep talking though. I know CDL is gonna talk about our match, but you'd rather hear us, right? Come on now. Once they start playing the team intros, we'll probably kick you over to the main CDL stream. If you're coming here to watch the match, you are still gonna make sure that you see the RØKKR match. It's just that you'll get IKON and I's either hype, analytical breakdown, mental breakdown from me, who knows what will happen. I just get so into the matches here. Yo, shout out Alex, VTOL. What's good, chat? There we go. Standy's the featured player. He's been so he was that hit of rejuvenation that we really needed at a time where we were not performing well, right? And I think that he was able to make such a huge impact right away. And from there, I think he did mesh really well into the team, but he's kind of slowed down. And I actually kind of wonder why that is. I mean, first of all, it's hard to be cracked in every single match all the time. It's just not possible. Not a single player is like that. He has been pretty consistent, but he's definitely not rookie week Standy anymore. Do you think that might be because he's meshing into the team? He's finding his role on the team, or is it just, you're coming off of a high, you're coming out of the challengers and you're just hitting the league running?
Well, I think that he's been playing super well. You just saw his ranks there, by mode and where he's at overall in terms of KD. But I want to make sure that we give him all the credit in the world. He's playing phenomenally. But the other thing that made a huge difference for Minnesota is that you're able to take Priesta and put him back in his role that he's most comfortable with. So he's playing super well. There's really only a BZ and Simp and Huke the first stage and a half. Those three were absolutely astronomical, out of this world. There's no doubt about it. But other than that, it's not like you see a ton of SMGs that are like top 5 in KD in every mode and stuff like that. It's just the nature of the role that they play and what they try to accomplish on the map doesn't really allow them to be that high when it comes to overall KD. So I think he came out and his first 2 matches were just somewhere in the stratosphere. Like he was just playing phenomenally. But over time, just what he plays, it's going to settle down and come back to earth just a little bit. So I think the most important thing is that Priesta just wasn't comfortable trying to play that role. So now that
Mhm.
you have somebody that feels natural there and you can take Priesta and let him do what he's best at, I think that's where they started to succeed. And that's why we've seen such a difference from them.
Yeah, and it couldn't come at a better time. And honestly, like we talk about it a lot, and I probably say I overstate it, but the league is so dang competitive. Minnesota RØKKR is currently in 7th place out of 12 teams, and I mean, obviously, it feels like lately, what we've been winning a majority of our matches. The matches we're dropping are to teams like Toronto, who's nasty, and Florida, who albeit is a little inconsistent, but they can get very good and very streaky. We've beat the best with the exception of FaZe. So it's crazy that I feel like we're on an upswing, but we're still in 7th right now. So we still have our work very much cut out for us this year, especially when you look at some of the changes that the teams that are ranked above us have been making. You have 100 Thieves now picking up, or sorry, LA Thieves picking up Hook. That's scary. I mean, I know they didn't look amazing in their match versus NYSL, but I mean, NYSL is another team that can get. You never know if they show up. They're really hot. They're really not. You never really know, and it's just crazy the amount of parity that there is this year. So that is why it's so dang important to make it into these winner brackets for the stage 3 majors. Obviously, these group play matches all give you points for your wins, and then better seeding for the major, which then gives you points. Whereas total at the end of the year, when it comes playoffs and champs time, all those points, all that seeding matters tremendously because the top 8 teams make it into champ. I mean, dude, this is our first year where not all the teams are gonna be there. Like this has never happened before. And if we're sitting at 7th, man, we better light that match. The backs start to feel against the wall. I mean, we do have a pretty sizable lead ahead of 8th place, but still, like you never want to leave it till the last, till the week before champs, and you're hoping another team loses or something. You definitely want to put the nail your stake far ahead of that time. So, I don't know, man. I'm excited. I guess. What's the biggest thing? Well, no, because we've already talked about players. Let's look at the maps. That's what I forgot. I was like, what have we talked about yet? The freaking maps. Hardpoint on Moscow, S&D Miami, Control Raid, Hardpoint Apocalypse, S&D Raid. Honestly, I didn't think these maps were too bad. If you look at like our records versus theirs, do you want to give a little rundown of the records and the map combos there?
Yeah, really, if you look at these maps overall, of these 5 maps, there's only 1 map where Minnesota doesn't have a positive record throughout the year. And if you look at Dallas, there's actually 2 maps where they have a positive record, but there's 3 where they have a below 500 record. So as we look throughout here, this Moscow hard point, I think it's pretty important. Minnesota is 1-3, Dallas is 5-4. But as we've seen of late, doesn't really matter what that map 1 record is. Minnesota's been coming out and playing super well on map 1. So if they can continue that here, again, that's the only map where they're under 500 on for this season. So if they can pick up a win in map 1, they're basically going to be a favorite throughout every map the rest of this matchup. S&D Miami, Minnesota's 4-3, Dallas is 4-2. Control Raid, that was able to make its way back, and we know as of late how well Minnesota's been playing Control Raid. So even if they, for some reason were to go down 0-2, you have that swing map where you can gain momentum and then try to reverse sweep. I don't see that happening, but it's always great to have that there. You look at map 4, Hardpoint Apocalypse. Dallas has not played this map yet, so is there a potential reason why they're 0-0 on this map and they haven't played it? Whereas when we've seen Minnesota play this map as of late, they've looked really good. Like a lot of these wins really haven't even been all that close on Apocalypse. Then if we need to, it comes down to S&D Raid, where Minnesota's 2-1, Dallas is 2-3. So I think the map 1 hard point on Moscow is super important. They can start off 1-0 and be favored on every single map from 2 to 5. I think that would be the best case scenario for how this match might end up playing out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen so many times lately where RØKKR is able to come out, get that map number 1, and it feels good. And we're unable lately to take the searches. I can't remember the last time RØKKR went up 2-0 this year. It feels like it's been decades. So I mean, yeah, you want to come out with the fire. You don't want to have to do some kind of crazy reverse sweep action. At least take one of the first 2 maps and let's go from there. I mean, yeah, statistically speaking, who knows? Apocalypse is kind of a question mark for Dallas. Maybe it's different now that they've got Fellow in the lineup. But yeah, you look at the records for the maps and you feel a little bit at ease. To be fair, the only hardpoint Moscow that RØKKR has won was against Dallas. So hopefully they haven't. I mean, that feels like it was forever ago and there was different players on the teams. But hey, you never freaking know, baby. Yo, shout out Thunder Hips, aka Dylan in the map. Got Nightbot in there. Hunter says, Lee's getting crazy. Outside of maybe Ultra Phase in New York, 4 through 8 are in a competitive battle for that top tier spot. Dude, right? And the fact that you didn't even say Optic just now, that's just crazy too. That's such a strange story that I wonder like what's actually going to end up happening there. Will DuPont says, like the map selection. Dude, yes, we also don't show the ads on the stream, so if you want an ad-free experience, we out here, baby. Shout out, Tim. Yeah, you'll see us instead of ads, guys. It's a good vibe, man. You want to come here? We're not as crazy as the CDL chat, unless you guys want to watch me have a meltdown. I think what's interesting too about Moscow is we do start on the bad side, so that's not good. But what that means, if we do get to the map 4, Hardpoint Apocalypse, RØKKR will get the good side, where I believe that good side of Apocalypse, it means a little bit more. You can lose it, obviously. You can lose any kind of side, but that feels a little good. So I don't know. I feel nervous because we haven't been able to rip a map 2 in forever. So in my head, I'm like, we have to win map 1. And it's, statistically speaking, map 1 will be the worst map in this pool for us. And we do get bad side, but hey, anything could happen and we'll have to see. Chad, I would love to know your guys' predictions. Where are we at? Yo, what's up, Reza? What's up, Karina? RØKKR should be able to win this. I think Dallas is struggling. Knock on wood. I hope you're right, Jake. I can't remember what I predicted. I did predictions outside of the podcast this week because I wasn't on there. What did you predict on the podcast for this match?
I think Kingdom and I both went with a 3-2 RØKKR win.
Nice.
Which, even if it does go that far, after seeing the maps and how the vetoes went and stuff, I'd be a little bit surprised if it took all the way till a map 5 for RØKKR to get a win. I just think they're playing better. I think Dallas is kind of regressing a little bit. And last thing, remember, overall for the season, Minnesota is 2-1 against Dallas, but that one loss was where you had the 0.1 control loss and you had the round 11 stick, which ended up being a team kill. And it just seems like everything went against Minnesota in that match. So really, all 3 times these two teams have matched up, seems like Minnesota's been the better team overall.
They got the wrong graphic. RØKKR versus Optic. What? Sorry. I didn't mean to just cut off everything you just said. That was crazy. No, I definitely agree. And I actually just looked at my predictions that I put before the weekend. I'm predicting RØKKR 3-1 over Dallas. Knock on wood that can happen. Chat's putting their predictions in there as well. Am I so confused? They have the wrong graphics package. Are we in another dimension right now? Are we playing Optic in the losers bracket? This better not be the matchup because they got the wrong graphics.
I'm not sure what's going on there.
Hey, I like seeing the Optic logo there. Shoot, there we go. They cut away from it. Yeah, but I predicted RØKKR 3-1 over Dallas, and I actually, in order for me to not get 0 points on the day, because I predicted Surge over London incorrectly. I predicted Optic over FaZe incorrectly. Oh, look. Okay. Hold on. What does this say? You're watching Major 2 turn. Are they putting it to, the old match? I guess I didn't hear what the CDL stream said.
I have no idea what's happening.
What is happening? They said you're watching this stage 2 major, but why? I want to watch RØKKR versus Dallas. CDL do better. They'll do better. They'll figure it out. Hey, they're playing our hype video again, though. That'll get you into it. That'll get you going. They already played this, right? Yeah, they definitely already played this. Hey, man, just gives us more time to chit-chat.
Maybe there's connection issues. Who knows?
Yeah, there might be. You're watching Major 2 tournament. What? How are the graphics this incorrect? What the heck? Like, that seems like something you gotta try to mess up on. Anyway, what map are they losing? Ooh, God. You know, before this, with how we've looked recently, I would have said, yeah, we'll probably drop the search, but be able to win the hard point control and the hard point. But after seeing that first map, I mean, Dallas is pretty good on Moscow. I'm hoping, and we do start on bad side. RØKKR starts on bad side, but I'm just hoping that we have been looking a ton better in hardpoint, and we are good at Miami. So I don't know. It could even be a 3-0 if we're feeling crazy. You never freaking know.
Yeah, I don't. If I'm looking at these maps, just even though it's pretty clear if you look at like the season records, Dallas has a better overall record on Moscow hardpoint. The way Minnesota's been coming out and the way that they've been playing in map 1, I just feel like even though the records are what they are, I just feel like they have an edge. Minnesota's been playing really hot as of late. Dallas has kind of looked like they're in a little bit of a slump. And then if you go through and you look at like SND Miami, I don't know. It's kind of almost backwards, like map 1 to map 2. You'd expect, okay, Minnesota has a good record on map 2, but haven't been playing well in those map 2s. So if it's a 3-1, then yes, I would probably see the map 2 not going their way, but we'll see what happens. I mean, these things are so hard to predict. We can just kind of go with the way teams have been going as of late.
You never freaking know. All right, looks like they have the right thing. Empire versus RØKKR will begin shortly while Optic is on the screen. I wonder how that gets messed up. Either way, yo, somebody asked where I got my hat. Baby, I got you. I got merch. I got the jersey. Okay, check out the hat, the jersey. All the RØKKR merch is on shop.rokkr.gg. Check it out, dude. We got a ton of stuff. We have all of our player jerseys in the shop. You can get one with your own name on it, like I did. MiDNiTE. Yo, if you get a MiDNiTE jersey, though, if you happen to get a MiDNiTE jersey, send me a pic. Look, I'm the best Black Ops 2 league player there is of all time. You want that jersey. Just kidding. Get one with your own name on it. Be yourself. The keys to victory for Optic Chicago here are, dude, what is going on? Yo.
I have no idea what's going on with this.
Somebody in the
they
chat
must
asked,
have like,
let's talk to the chat since they're taking so long. Guys, you guys are all predicting a RØKKR to win. I'm pretty sure you have 3-2, 3-2, 3-1, 3-1. Ooh, we feeling confident in the chat. I love that. Issues, it says, okay. Animated intro gave me chills for real. Yes, I love the animated intro. I miss it. We are going to start doing it again. We're just having it edited just because the old intro had Major Maniac in it. Shout out Major Maniac. Don't want to run that without him on the starting lineup. Is there a RØKKR flat beak hat? I think so, yeah. Midnight Jersey Heat, bro. Look, I even got the jersey on my. I got a jersey on my wall. Can y'all see that?
This guy right here.
Yeah, there you go. Icon's got the flip. I got a jersey in a frame. That's how nerdy I am, bro. Like, you want to know the kind of nerd I am? There you go. There you go. Got RØKKR merch to Germany. Ooh, heck yeah, Tim. Let's go. Man, what else can we say about this match, Icon? We ran out of stuff to talk about. Usually, it's never lasts this long. The mainstream's having tech issues. All right. Look, they should put us on. Don't do that, CDO. Don't do that. I will definitely say the F word. I'll go Gary V style. Yo, I guess speaking of kind of relevant news that I thought was pretty cool, Call of Duty put the CDL 2020 Champs trophy along with photos of the 5 players from Empire on banners at the stadium in Warzone. That's going to go in the game tomorrow. That's pretty freaking cool, man. Like, I think anything that helps reflect CDL, on the game itself, where like casual folks may not really know about CDL or have a team to root for yet, like, I think that's pretty cool. I'm wondering why it took them this long to do it, but I'm not gonna, that's cool that it's happening, I guess.
Yeah, no, I totally feel that. And the big thing is, like, there are so many just gamers out there that really only play BRs So there could be a high probability with like I think there's like 100 million, like it's crossed 100 million players that have
So
dropped into
much.
Warzone. So you got to think like how many of those players are just playing because like the streamers are playing it or because it's the most popular BR mode at the time. So the fact that they could be loading into Warzone, they might not even be aware that there is a competitive COD scene. Then now they're going to stadium, they're seeing this trophy, they're seeing all of the pictures up on the wall, and then it might be, okay, what is this? So now they might have an interest, or it might pique an interest in competitive Call of Duty, and it could just shed some more light on the scene and maybe bring some more players and viewership along. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool to see the inclusion of a lot of Warzone stuff or a lot of competitive COD stuff in Warzone. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, Warzone is like it's crazy thing because Warzone came out during the pandemic, right? And so to me, that feels like 3 years ago. Like Warzone's been around forever, but we really only just had the 1 year anniversary of Warzone a little bit ago, and it's because it's free to play. Like it's massively helped the popularity of Call of Duty, and Call of Duty already has a massive player base anyway. So yeah, I've talked to a ton of people, and I've been watching competitive COD for. Geez, I've been watching competitive COD for 11 years. I'm old, all right. I've been
Same.
watching since the 2010, the days, right? And almost everyone was always like, yo, you're either Optic, FaZe, or Envy. Or maybe you're EUnited sometimes if they go on a streak, but nobody really cares about any of the other orgs. And I didn't like that. Obviously, I was in Optic and didn't like that. I was like, no, we need more, like, we need people to get into the teams, right? And so I think, like, with the city-based franchise model, you see, I've talked to tons of Minnesotans who are like, yeah, like, I play Call of Duty, but I never really, like, knew about competitive or watched until I had a team to root for. And you're starting to see this crazy like new wave of fans come in, and so I just think Warzone and having those types of activations in the game helps it.
Yeah,
uh
the franchise thing is super sick because even like launch weekend of Modern Warfare, which was in Minnesota, when Minnesota like went on a run and was winning maps and stuff, you could see just the excitement overall from people that were in attendance there. And there's a high probability that if you didn't play on, those 3 or 4 franchises that you mentioned before, you're probably not ever getting that reception because it doesn't matter
mhm.
where you go. The majority of people were probably Optic fans or Envy fans or somebody like that. So that's a cool part. I, I'm excited for the potential that maybe at some point in time in the future, those home series lands will return just because I think it'd be cool to see the different reactions. Like when that second one was over in London last year before the pandemic struck, I thought it was cool to see the London fans and you saw all the London gear in the crowd. And I mean, of course, if Optic is going crazy like they did in that event, then of course, people are going to root for Optic. But still, anytime London was playing there, they got a huge ovation. So it's just cool to see that, like, doesn't matter what team you're playing on. Like, imagine an event held in, I don't know, I mean, name the place. It just seems like everybody would have their own stamp on how that event runs. I think it'd be cool for each of those players to get applauses that they might not have gotten before.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like we experienced this last year, right? Like it's RØKKR was not endemic to the space. Actually, wasn't endemic to esports even. Like a lot of these other CDL franchises, they also have teams in other games like Overwatch League, etc. RØKKR was the first team for what is now Version 1, the parent company. Shout out Version 1, by the way. Now have a Rocket League team, a Valorant team. Our Valorant team was one of 2 North America teams going to Iceland at the end of the month for Valorant Masters, which is pretty crazy. Like only 2 teams North America got to go, and we're one of them. That's nuts. Shout out V1. But yeah, it's been awesome to see that kind of growth because I admittedly I was nervous. I was like, man, like we're having this. We wanted to hold the first event of the year last year before COVID hit, obviously, and we wanted to make a really good first impression. And I was so nervous, like, how do you get people interested in a brand new team? And shout out to all the guys on our very first RØKKR team, but they didn't have massive brands, massive followings, or anything like that. And so I was a little nervous. I was like, man, I wonder if like Minnesotans are gonna like, adopt this team as their own, or what are they gonna think about esports? There's really never even been anything like this here. And we had the Armory, it was wild, and it was literally the last event that I actually went to before the pandemic hit. And it was just really crazy to me that like there's people chanting "Let's go RØKKR," screaming at our intro, screaming as the players come out, and it's just all because, you know, there's that affiliation to home there, and it just gives you something to cheer for. So I don't know. Going back to it, I'm really excited that they're putting like CDL things or achievements into the regular Call of Duty game, whether it's Warzone or multiplayer. I think they've come a long way. I still think there's work to do. There's still ways that you can implement there, but I don't know. I'm pretty stoked about it. We got some questions that feel free to ask questions in the chat, guys. We've had to go on here for a little bit just because the CDL stream is having issues. We've gone through the maps. We've done our predictions. We've been talking for 30 minutes. I'm impressed, IKON. We're actually pretty good at talking. Let's go.
Doesn't feel like it.
No, it doesn't. It feels like 15, 20 minutes. I just checked, but I was like, oh, wow. Who's your favorite non-RØKKR player? Oh, man.
Ooh.
I don't know. I have so many. I would say Scump for sure. Scump is my GOAT. I know that's controversial to say because he doesn't have nearly as many chips as Krim or Clay, but he's just been so dang consistently good at every COD since 2011. That's literally when he went pro. He won his first LAN in 2011. Like, the guy's just been doing it forever. Other than that, I would say Clay. I just love the Clay factor. On any team that Clayster is on, they could win. And he did have a dry spell for a long time in regards to championships. Like, he was on MiDNiTE for a while, struggling before they won champs. Like, it's just crazy the career he's had, the ups and downs he's had, and just how wild he's been. IKON, who's your favorite non-RØKKR player? Because obviously all four of the RØKKR guys are your faves, right?
Yeah, for sure. I really do like watching Standy play. I love his play style.
Yeah.
I love his energy and stuff like that. So it's really cool to see him develop. But I think Scump almost has to be like an automatic for a lot of people just based off of what he's brought to the game and what he means to the scene and all that stuff. I will say, like, if I'm playing COD or if I'm playing Warzone, I like to do my best to just be super aggressive, and I like to just, like, you know, you're always looking for bounties or you're always looking for UAVs, like if you're playing Warzone. So just the fact that I'm that type of player, I really like aBeZy just because, you know, he might not, I mean, this year he's been on fire. Last year he was kind of on fire too, but just the way that he plays the game and how, you know, if you look at like S&D rounds, his first blood percentage is like 22%. And if you look at other SMGs, like most first blood percentages are like maybe 10 or 11. Like nobody's even really close to the way that he plays S&D. So I think that that's super exciting. If you're talking about personality, like with the content that Optic has been coming out with lately, I feel like Formal is just hilarious. So I guess it depends on, like, are you talking about in game? Are you talking about what they mean to the scene? Or
whatever applies, I think.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know. Of course, aBeZy and Simp, and I like Arcides too, and then Clay with how vocal he is. I feel like there's so many. It would be really difficult to just say this person is my favorite player. I don't know. I feel like you could go across every roster on every team and you could pick somebody that's really cool from each of them. But probably those ones that we said would be my overall takes.
I dig it. Yeah, aBeZy's just like silently kind of one of the best. Not like, I would say probably like top two, maybe even at times first best player in the CDL. Like he's on a team with Simp and freaking Arcides, and then obviously Cell's really good too. But like, yeah, he almost gets, I guess, overshadowed in a way that it's just crazy that more people don't think about him as one of the current best, or maybe they do. I don't know. Jackie asks, will you guys be getting an intro with Standy? Will it be another cool animated one? Maybe. What CD would you like to see have a CDL team? Oh, man, that's a good question. I do want the CDL to expand eventually. I don't know how soon I want that to happen, but I do want it to eventually expand. I think Las Vegas would be a cool city. I don't think there's a ton of, like, well, I don't know, I guess. I don't know many people from Vegas and how they go, like, if they go super homer for their teams. But I think that's a really good potential market. Plus, having events in Vegas would be cool.
Yeah, now, I'm a Cleveland boy. I don't think Cleveland is, like, the best place for a franchise, but I've seen this a lot just because of, you know, like, the base that they've had throughout the entirety. I think Columbus will be incredible. I think a CDL team in Columbus, Ohio, with how many tournaments have been held there in the past and the different MLG stages that were held there in the past, not to mention, I'm pretty sure EU, so MiDNiTE has like kind of like a little stronghold there. And I know Adam Apicella and Nameless and Merc are all kind of from that area. So I don't know. I think Columbus would be fantastic. And that would kind of give me like maybe somewhat of a home team vibe to root for, like you guys have with Minnesota.
Yeah.
But yeah, like any of the major cities would be sweet too. Like you put a team in San Francisco, or you put a team in Vegas, or I mean, any of those cities would be dope. I just want to see. I don't know. I just want to see expansion. I want to see more teams. I really do miss, like, you go back a few years and like you could sit back on a Friday of MLG Anaheim or something, and there would just be like 36, 40 teams, and you could watch, the alpha stream, the beta stream, the Charlie stream, and you could just flip
Just an
over.
overindulgence of Call of Duty streams. It was
Right.
amazing.
Yeah, you got the two monitors and your iPad open and your phone, and you're just trying to follow. Like, I don't know. There are times where I miss that, but yeah, I don't care. Let's see some expansion. I think that'd be sweet.
I think that'd be cool too, because there's obviously like enough players, right? With the league going from 5v5 to 4v4, there's so many nasty folks down in challengers right now that if there's expansion, you're going to see some of the old veterans swindle their way on a lineup, of course, but you will see just a ton of new crop talent kind of coming into the league, which I think would be really cool too. Hunter asks, what are your thoughts so far if player awards like MVP, Rookie of the Year were given out today? I don't know. I would rather wait till the end of the season to really give those out. I mean, maybe there's some sort of like awards for the stages. Like, I think they do player of the stage, which is kind of like what you're talking about. But I would rather, like, especially like an MVP or a Rookie of the Year, I feel like that should come at the end of the season, yeah?
What if you had to pick a stage 3 player of the stage?
Golly. That's hard.
It is tough.
It has to be someone on Toronto, just because they are lights out right now. 5-0. Are they? No, they're not the first team to go 5-0, right? FaZe did that before this year. Man, I would say player of the stage on Toronto. And listen, I'll eat my words, bro. I was saying no Zinni, no Winnie. I was saying, yeah, it looks like they brought on Insights, and he's, they're not changing much with him. They look the same as they did with Zinni, and I do think Insight's really good. He is like, I mean, his stats are a little better than Standy's in terms of like who's the best rookie right now, because he is an AR player, which typically means their stats are a little bit better. But I would say Insight's my player of stage 3. He's going off, and it looks like the guys might be ready to play. There was an issue with one of the players' PCs. I think it was someone on Dallas. His PC was messed up. But
I thought we were doing podcast part 2.
Dude, yeah, I thought we were just about to do the. I mean, shoot, I was hoping we'd get all the way to the map 5 and see that 1v3 from accuracy again. That would have been kind of cool. Hydra Tanush says, Icon, what do you think? Who's your player at the stage 3 so far?
Yeah, I think it has to be somebody from Toronto. I think if you look at overall stats, I mean, the way that Insight is playing, I mean, he's basically leading every main AR statistical category. It doesn't matter if you're talking about hardpoint or S&D or control. I mean, the dude has just been insane, but just the type of player that I like to watch. I think Kleenex is also vitally important because he plays that same Abizi role. So, I don't know, somebody from Toronto.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like they're about to start the match. Only had to hang out with me and Icon for an extra 30 minutes. I'm so sorry, you poor people. Now, I hope you guys have fun, though. We'll be back in between the maps to break things down and get hype. Make sure to leave a like on the stream if you like it, and we'll see you after map 1.
Let's go.
I know you said, I think we discussed that. I can't remember if it was on broadcast or not, but just talking a little bit about Empire and the pressure of the community and all the noise you're hearing after making a change like that. And I think you said, it's not really a big deal. You kind of expect that in a sense, like it's going to happen. But with each loss, does that change a bit?
I mean, it might. I think they have to make sure they have like sort of a open communication, make sure things are clear with themselves. But yeah, it may creep into the back of the head of maybe if there was one on the team that said like, hey, that's just why I didn't want to do this type thing. Just not, again, we're not exactly sure how everything went down, but this is it.
Well, accuracy, a guy you really want to see step it up, but I think we're more talking about the search and destroy, kind of him and attach and how they can get going. But we'll talk more about that when we get ready for the second match. But so far, a battle around mid-map, on a split right after RØKKR. You've got who is that? Standy kind of set up for new. The other two trying to push from across the map. And Standy, well, does Standy things. He gets 2 kills, secures the spawn side for his team. Big play there from Standy, our game field feature player.
Yeah, I mean, the Minnesota RØKKR, what they did is they basically had a line through the middle of the map. And they were forcing where Crim just spawned right now. They were forcing Dallas Empire to spawn top left of the mini-map. The problem is a couple of players die. And then Attached was one of the last players standing with Standy. So Minnesota RØKKR, they spawned all the way bust side, but you nailed it. Standy, he had to find a couple of kills, at least wait for Attached to come through that pinch. Be able to find those kills. They're now on this second hill. They get the 2 at the beginning, and Standy on 4 in a row. That slide into that shot, beautifully done from him.
Yeah, not fun to deal with at close range with you're an AR, but yeah, I thought they were going to be in trouble just due to a bit of a split spawn, but Standy makes the play. Now Fellow trying to make the play for an opening, or at least to maybe stagger their transition, as you're not going to get a lot of time here. You got to focus on to next, but you know, they avoid getting spawned in the back, at least for now. Let's see where the next 2 pop. All right, so they're going to spawn safe to the next start point. Yeah, they should be all right. RØKKR wasn't pushed out that far, but I thought maybe something funky could happen. But now you got to answer back if you're Empire.
I mean, that's great though by by Empire, because they get a couple of kills, and you know, you're just now getting across the map if you're Dallas with 10 seconds off of it. So they didn't really have a lot of map pressure. They're only going to get a push or 2. Priest, though, he's going all the way through the back. Crim, he gets caught off guard. A slow start for Crim in this map. But now pushing those spawns, they push through elbow. Accuracy with another one. It's just a couple of players left. 1 player back. Library. You see they have 1 player front. That's accuracy. Since he's staying alive at the front, Dallas Empire is spawning in a very weird spot out towards bus side. But now you have the back spawns because everybody from RØKKR kind of rotated towards the front to contest this hill. It's a crazy third hill right now.
Yeah, I think that turned out a little better than I thought it was going to, because Illy and Shotzi were the last 2 alive, but they managed to get 2 kills, so it wasn't like a clean 30 seconds at least for RØKKR, but at the end of the day, you get a break if you're RØKKR. You maintain that lead you got through second, and you have Priesta working towards streaks. I know we're attached right now, but when we get a chance, I want to check out Priesta, because he's 10-6 on 5 in a row. Curious to see if he can earn some streaks.
Like you said, just carrying momentum from his previous match, played so well. And has throughout this stage 3. It feels like he's getting really comfortable on this Craig. Fellow, though, able to take him down, so no scores returned. He will spawn on up, and yeah, now you've had, with that break, another hill in a row where you're earning majority of this time. Dallas Empire, they're starting to push. You have 1 player in Fellow who's out towards that left side. He's going to get things going. The contest is there by Shotzi. With those kills, you see they have to back on down, wait for their reinforcements.
I know you already mentioned it, but the woes for Crim have continued. He just got his 2nd kill in the game as we're about to wrap up our 3rd hardpoint. So, I mean, averaging less than a kill a hardpoint as it stands. He's going to have to pick it up. As you've mentioned, what a big factor he has been when they are winning these respawns. But our game field feature player we go. He's got a couple to deal with. Takes the angle, so he can at least take a one-on-one. Flank coming in. Not sure if it's a read or a call up, but not going to matter. Shotzi able to take him down. So now focus. Oh, sorry, that was what, 2 through our 4th hard point. Sorry.
And I'll tell you what, only being down 20 seconds after that rotation, you take that if you're Dallas Empire. They did a really
100%.
good job on the 4th hill, fighting back, earning around 30 seconds. And yeah, it felt like RØKKR. They had all the rotations, they had the breaks, but you know, Dallas Empire, they made it a little bit scrappy. They were chipping away, earning some of that time.
If you told me through the first set of rotations they were being outside by almost 20, I would not have guessed it was a 20-point game.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's for sure. Yeah,
that
a ton
is for sure. Yeah, it's like where they're getting those kills has been so important. We'll see now, though. They're going to get this scrap time, still around 20 points. They're going to cut it down to almost about 5 as Minnesota RØKKR trying to get set up. Priesta does spawn safe. The pressure here for Dallas Empire.
I feel like I'm watching a Red Reserve match. Like, it doesn't matter we're getting outslayed by 20. We're still in the game. That's
an old one.
I know. But, ooh, all right. Well, Illy, who we discussed for the game field keys to victory over the last 11 maps, has only been positive once. Making some positive plays here, as that'll be 3 in a row for him. Now over to Attach's POV we go, and well, he gets 3, but Illy will get the last laugh as he gets the even. Goes on 4 in a row, pushing for a lead change, and he wants to chow this. He's so close to streaks, but he's hunting the kill. A great need, though, from Priest that backs him up, but lovely move from Illy. Keeps the streak alive.
And look at this, Dallas Empire, they're spawning Minnesota RØKKR out. So you can see the race across the map. Krim, he picks up the kill on to attach. You still have one player here in Accuracy. Accuracy shot a couple of bullets, so they know his position. Here comes the flood. There's the streak. Illy now on 7 in a row. They do a beautiful job from second to third on this rotation. He's going to pant. He's going to give the comm. There's 2 players inside a bar. Shotzzy, he's going to react right off of that. Nicely done there from Dallas Empire.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the perfect guy to get the kill in that situation. Great job by Illy as the streak continues. Now, a big push here from RØKKR. Lead change now. Empire go out in front. It has been a long time since this man has dropped, and he's not dropping now. The streak for Illy still going. Accuracy, the next up the bat. The man seems to be an unmovable object right now as he has just been making plays all around Moscow.
Well, there he's able to get that cruise missile. Yeah, he gets the cruise missile. Fellow now get into a little bit more. And I mean, yeah, before that, what? You had 8 and 14 from Fellow before that 3 spree. Well, now 4 spree. It was 6 and 16 out of Krim. You know, your ARs are like 12 and 30 before these kills come in. And they're still in this. And now they have this lead. Weapons starting to unlock a little bit. You have the streaks coming in. They can break this bus setup. Priesta's going to find one. That is your teammate, Illy. That doesn't help you.
All right, Shotzzy, I'm going to use another streak now. Please don't stand in this one. Surely he won't kill him again, right? All right, this time, just going to kind of clear the streak, but won't connect onto anybody. Illy, though, can do no wrong right now. The nade is hitting. The movement is out. Almost wins a gunfight. I think he had no right having a shot in. Despite the fact he drops, it feels like there's always somebody there in support and Fellow more often than not. And when you see a scoreline like this and the slang's still an advantage for RØKKR, at least, you know, it's minimalized now, just kind of tell you Empire's playing the map the right way?
Well, that, and I think just RØKKR executed wrongly on the first set of rotations. I think a couple of times where they were making it chaotic, but Dallas Empire got a couple of the key kills that gave them some spawns, some opportunities to earn some scrap time, or at least split the hill when RØKKR could have had a big lead. I mean, we said it, you know, outslaying the way they did, only being up 20 points after that first rotation. They have to turn that into more, but they're still alive, only down 30. But Shotzzy, Illy, they are flying on through towards this first hill. Fellow is able to find another one. Huge time for Empire. They could put it within limits of winning this map 1.
Chance to do it. Les Priesta can come up big, and he's doing that. Getting picks at every angle with the Krieg, but Fellow will slow that down for a moment over our game field feature player, only briefly as he drops nearly instantly. Accuracy is trying to contest, but Illy just slides right into his face. Illy having himself, well, really his best map of the past couple of weeks.
Sure is. 26 and 18. He's getting a lot of the scrap time, and he's just kind of flying, right? Like, he's just taking multiple gunfights. Seems like he's playing really quick. You know, it's taking him some time. It will take him some time. Similar to Priesta, you get in that role switch. Kind of how you want to play the map. It's going to be a little bit different for him, but starting to get comfortable. But Minnesota RØKKR off that first hill to get set up for second. So the pressure on Dallas Empire to break once again.
It's like Shotzzy flies. I guess I'm flying too. It's working out for him right now. But can they get the break? A lot of ball bangs or car bangs or whatever you want to call them, but finally attached there. Will clean up the kill, but there's a contest through the front. Illy, he keeps rolling, but you stay alive in this one. You'll be looking at what? Basically a tie game if you get the rest of this for RØKKR, and they should, as the rotation is going to come through now for Empire. Can you get some kills on transition if you're RØKKR? Can you spawn them in the back? It'll be interesting to see where they...
With that one. We'll see. I think Crims should spawn early. Yeah, all right. Oh, actually, he holds on to it. So he's going to spawn out. Crim's going to spawn out. So you have a 3v3 on the opposite side. But he is able to kill Accuracy. Another kill comes in. But Krim all the way across. You see the spawn for RØKKR. They hold on to their cams. The hill spawn. So you have 4 players here. Fellow, though, with some nice shots, able to slow down, too. Priesta, though, has the position. Priesta with a multi-kill. You still have Krim working in the middle of the map, and at the front of the hill comes Standy.
And attached. He wanted the streak so bad. It could have been big to pick this up or use it bust if they survive, but he falls right before it. Empire are in. 10 points needed. A flood through the front, but in through STs goes Shotzzy. I thought he had freebies, but he's going to get cut down. 2 now drop for Empire. Krim and Fellow trying to make the play. It'll just be Krim backing all the way up, waiting for his teammates to get back in and help. 5 in a row now for Krim. As if you're RØKKR, you're just trying to be in long enough to survive to see another hard point, and kind of snaps before he finishes both, but Shotzzy is there to clean it up. They still have enough time to win it here. You've got to send it at old, and rotating an X already is going to be illy.
Well, Cindy and Attach are already gone. They're already gone. They left. They went on the rotation. I don't know if they just timed it wrong or what, but they sent it.
You need
Krim,
like 2
he
more
clutches
seconds.
on up, and I mean, everybody's getting a little fired up on the Dallas Empire side. They're having some fun.
Yeah, well, I think you need that. Like,
Yeah,
whether
you
it's
gotta
just
bring
some
some energy.
positivity, some vibes, have some fun, because things have obviously been tough these past couple of weeks, but there they get the victory. illy, I think easily the best map we've seen from him since the change. Monster map. Krim, despite the rough start, goes clutch at the end, and even though he doesn't finish those final 2 kills, Shotzzy is there, and yeah, I think it was like, what, 2, maybe 3 more seconds you had to contest if you were RØKKR, and they just didn't get it.
And it's always tough in those situations because, you know you have to rotate. Like, if you look at the mini-map towards the end, there was already a Dallas Empire player. They knew that worst case scenario, they rotate, they win that map. But here's a look at the stats. Yeah, illy almost 5,000 damage. Priestess does hit 5,000. You had Attach with 30. I mean, you outslay if you're Minnesota RØKKR, but to me, it's all on that first rotation. Dallas Empire survive the terror that was Minnesota RØKKR early on. They only lose that first set by 20 points. That was huge.
Well, IKON, this is something that we're definitely not used to lately. RØKKR goes down 0-1 in a hard point. That was such a crazy, crazy wild hard point. I think RØKKR definitely won rotation 1. The second set of rotation, illy just did illy things, helped them turn it around, and it was such a close match. But I don't know, I guess... What can you say? Why? How did Dallas end up? It seemed like they were getting outplayed a majority of the map there, and they ended up just being able to capture the dub there. What do you think happened?
It was literally the one streak from illy that ended up making the difference in this one. If you go from second set of rotations, P1 to P2, Minnesota had a 3-piece. They had spawns, they had rotations, they were set up inside of P2. illy goes on like a 9 spree, and he's able to, if he doesn't go on that streak, Minnesota gets a full 60 on that P2, and then they have a 60-point lead as it rotates over to P3 in that second set of rotations. So there were 3 people dead. illy was the only person that was left. He clutched up. He ended up getting the majority of that time there for his squad. And then they piggybacked that because they also won their rotations over to P3. And that's when they were able to build their lead. So had it not just been for that one streak and that one hill, it would have been an entirely different ballgame. But even going into this one, that was the only map that Minnesota doesn't have a positive record on. So even though they lost, all is not lost, because now you have a streak of maps here which should favor Minnesota.
Yeah, going down 0-1, it hurts a little bit less when you're coming into nasty maps for your team coming up. But we're playing S&D Miami next. Minnesota RØKKR is 4-3 on that. Dallas is 4-2, and we are series-wise 0-1 versus Dallas on this map. But remember, it was that one map, the round 11. In the last major where Attach accidentally got stuck somewhat out. It was crazy, and the guys have been looking really good on Miami as of late. So we'll have to see how this one goes. I mean, it's definitely, like you said, definitely possible for us to bounce back. We next have Raid Control, and then hopefully we get there Hardpoint Apocalypse, and then Search and Destroy Raid. Definitely feel good about this map set, and yeah, you're looking statistically, RØKKR was the map they're statistically most likely to lose was that first one, and it was so close. I agree that illy just took that game by the horns and really turned it their favor, so props to him for that. But even at the end there, it got real dicey, and it was definitely possible if like 1 or 2 gunfights go differently, RØKKR takes the map, which is pretty crazy. And we did start on bad side, so hey, we'll be starting on good side on map number 4 if we get there, knock on wood, hopefully, my goodness. But anyway, guys, the Search and Destroy Miami is about to kick up. The last time we saw RØKKR on this map, Priest dropped 17 kills. Who's your guys' player to watch? I guess in the last question I asked you guys, who's going to be the clutch player for the Search and Destroy on Miami? One person said Priest, and then Priest dropped 17 kills. So
Yep.
give us that energy again, Chad. Who do you guys think is going to be the clutch player on S&D Miami for RØKKR? And then after the second map, IKON and I will be back, as always, to break it down. So kicking you over to the CDL stream again. Enjoy map 2. We'll see you soon.
Different locations, not all there. So, you know, that's just something I noticed. They're all together playing this match.
And Joe, you touched on it for a second, but like this is big. Like last match, different scenario, but a lot of pressure on. Winner of this secures third. They secure that winner's bracket opportunity. So great start from Empire.
Yeah, you can see here though, right, where they're struggling. I mean, 2-2 in Hardpoint, you'll take that. But Search and Destroy and Control, 1-6 in their last 3 matches. Got to turn things around. It's a tough task here in Miami. Search and Destroy. This has been Minnesota RØKKR. This has been one of their better maps.
Yeah, and there's been nothing really that stood out for them this stage from a positive standpoint. But even at the beginning of the year, when they were still looking like, you know, a top 2-3 team at times, Control and Search never were great, but their hardpoint was so good. I mean, there was a time where they were like, what, number 1, number 2 in hardpoint. That just can't be 50-50 if everything else is going to struggle.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, even at like stage 1, there was question marks around Empire. We weren't really sure where they were, and then, you know, the major happens and they end up in the final again, and you're like, all right, this is the Empire that we know. Stage 2, they tried to fix the mistakes that didn't really happen, and throughout this, I don't know, it's not the Empire we've expected, but they're still in the hunt. They're in the talking. They've gotten top 4 every major. They've done enough.
But still, yeah, question marks all over the place heading into this major. Can they make a statement or, you know, just positive momentum and just positive mentality heading into this major? I think a win would do wonders there. And I don't know. I just love the reaction that I saw out of the team after that first map. They know it's a big one. They're fired up. They're pumped up. I absolutely love it. And that's just some straight beams there out of Priesta.
And he is very comfortable on this map. This is where this man took over. What do you have? 16, 17? 17 kills. Yeah, ridiculous stuff from him, but he does get taken down. Fellow gets very aggressive B side, is able to make that a very quick trade. So you have Shotzi and Krim over towards A, but the bomb starting to rotate its way back over towards B. Accuracy is just watching that cross to let his teammates know there's only one there. So they're going to try and take this 2v1.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to check out kind of accuracy and attach throughout this. Maybe see where the woes would come or their search and destroy, but you might have found an opening now if you're Shotzi. Right underneath accuracy, Attached looks like he's got the pickup, he's got the read, he's got the angle. The nade will finish it off, but now Fellow, it's his turn to pounce. He'll be the last one to pounce, though, as well. Under 20 seconds to go. 1 versus 2. They've got to work the plant. The bomb is going to be down on the site. Is Fellow made to play to stop that? That would be for the ace as well. Unless it just goes to time. There's the first. Looking for the final player. Just on the bomb, and Fellow with the round 1 ace. Making the plays.
Huge plays out of Fellow. I mean, this is what we know from this guy. Like, this is the first time we're seeing him in this clutch role, right? He's always been a submachine gun player. So, you know, he has the ability to use both of these weapons. He's able to find that, you know, that early trade. But then in that 1 versus 2, Attach kind of dips out, right? He's waiting for accuracy. They have to rotate. They have to get the bomb. And, yeah, the clock is not their friend. He hears the sound cue as the bomb is picked up. But his first kill onto Attach, so big, so important. And in the 1v1, plays that time well.
Yeah, I mean, the fact he gets bombed down. Like, as soon as I saw it was 20 seconds after that, I was like, well, I mean, this is extremely winnable. And sure enough, he gets the job done. Now over to Illy. You had that hot map 1. He will get the first blood. Is RØKKR trying to find an answer for these plays Empire are making.
Attach. He's trying to play it patiently. But now he is stuck. What else could he find? He's hoping maybe for a stick, but a nice trade from Priesta to make this a 2v2. A Fellow up to 5 in a row. He found another kill. Accuracy, like, I just played this spot last round. Beautiful shots, but Fellow, he has taken over this game. He's looking for the 1v1, but Priesta shuts it down.
Of course, it's Priesta with how he's been playing on this map, but a big round win from RØKKR. Finally, though, the nutty streak for Fellow does come to an end, just shy of streaks.
We'll be all tied up 1-1. Now, I know we talked about accuracy and attach and their search woes lately, but who was it that's really stood out in the search for Empire? Is it kind of been a collective effort, or who's been struggling?
I remember looking at Control, and they were all struggling. Let me take a look here.
I thought there was someone you pointed out, but maybe it was the Control I was thinking of.
But yeah, Control was the whole team. I think Krim is playing really well in search. Oh, it was Shotzi and Illy. Yeah, Shotzi and Illy are the other two. Yeah, they're both struggling. I think they were like right around 0.8s and below.
Okay. We'll see which of those kind of duos we've highlighted can maybe step it up in this map. Well, speaking of Shotzi, here he is. Sandy, you're gone. Dude, some of the POVs we've seen, like, it was attached, like, tucked away. Just trigger discipline from players, seeing if they can get multiple kills. But it's quickly a 2v4, and it's the two guys that need to step it up. Accuracy and attach. And they somehow pull this off. We've got a decent amount of time with 40 seconds left to work on it, but not going to happen as it shots in the back again. Another gets melted, and it's a flawless round there from Empire.
Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of Miami search and destroy at times, right? Just winning defensive rounds, unless it's LA Thieves and NYSL that we had yesterday, which was absurd to watch. So many crazy rounds. But even at the major, when we saw these teams, it was that crazy round 11. The big discussion was around who's going to find that first offensive win. And that is the case right here. So Dallas, they take care of their defense. And what can they do on offense?
For the big discussion of how did he manage to stick his teammate. I still don't understand that video, but...
Yeah.
See
that was tough.
See if they can get offensive round win here. Shotzi lining up. A nade spot. Standy barely able to avoid some bullets as the nade does hit. He gets hit down to 63. Priesta tagged up as well. There's no one finishing a kill, though finally accuracy does. That'll be the first blood now for RØKKR. And you've got, for Empire, what, like two kind of lurking mid, bomb lurking B side. With 45 seconds left, you have to group up and pick a side, but accuracy wants no part of it.
In that play where Priest is right now on that boat, we saw Shotzi in the previous round. When you're in this position, you see this cross, you're just peppering people. It's so difficult to make a play throughout the middle of the map, but the one place that is open is kind of middle. That's where Illy takes that gunfight on accuracy. Accuracy just wins it. Such a strong position, just kind of forces them to go towards this A site. Shotzi, he gets aggressive. He's able to find one. He just goes for the plant. Fellow watching his hop over as the bomb. Down it is. This is going to set Fellow up, and he's able to save Shotzi as well.
Fellow, maybe another chance to clutch 1v2, but a different conversation this time. And he only has 13 bullets to work with.
He spotted him.
He can't really shoot. 9 bullets, 3 bullets. Pistol is the secondary, but again, finesse is not enough. Can't get away. Attach will track him down and get back to the fuse, but I thought maybe he was going to pull that off.
I think that was one of those where he doesn't see him. He probably gets the calm for his teammates. He's behind. He's probably just trying to mantle over that wall. You know that happens when you're in the moments. Oh,
absolutely.
Man.
Yeah,
Fellow
absolutely.
almost making the clutch. And as you said, just not a lot of ammo. Was going for that pick across the map. But accuracy with 2 big ones on the Elite and Krim locking down the middle of the map. And, you know, we've seen Dallas at times. Krim is a player that he will try to find an opening middle, right? When you're in those 2-2 splits or there's a player at that boat, he tries to make a play. They do it right there, but accuracy shuts that down.
I just thought it was interesting because that's one of the few times I've seen someone in a clutch scenario, and I thought ammo might be the difference. That's just not usually the case.
Yeah, the pre-fire, the guy, Standy up top, he had the shots on Priesta at the boat, just nobody went down for him.
Still having a hell of a map at 8-2. All 4 of those in the first round. But accuracy kind of back to his default spot in the window, watching over mid. The other 3 grouping up. Ready to attack. Illy avoided that first nade. I think Priesta held that. Yeah, he sure did. Hello. With Rogers-like accuracy. And everyone falling outside of the island player and accuracy. Now, good luck, sir. A lot of work to do. And Krim continues to challenge the fight. And he's just got battles everywhere. Finally will fall.
And there's a bit of a 3-stack over towards that site. The one player middle is right at the half wall. You see this position. It's a great spot from Shotzi because with that wall there, when you can mantle, it's an easy rotation over towards the site if his teammates need help. So if things start to go wrong for Illy and Fellow, he's immediately there, but he's also locking down the middle of the map. If Crim needs some help, he can easily rotate on over. We'll see if RØKKR make any adjustments on their offense, but so far, 5 defensive round wins in a row.
And Standy, I mean, he's struggling. He's 0-5 currently. Crim slow with 1 kill, but he started the hard point slow and made some noise at the tail end of it. I just feel like he's been like a couple POVs we've seen, like getting a lot of shots in, just not finding kills. Jotzi, though, fast first blood. You took a key player out of the mix. Priest already off the map.
Yeah, that's a player, like, he's going for that boat position. Maybe just gets caught. Nice team shot out of Shotzi and Illy. You see the rotation over. That's accuracy. Attach now has his help down low. There's only 1 player. Over towards B, it's Standy. But he's not seeing anything when he peeks on out. Attach trying to get some shots up top. But it's going to be an A execute. Can they find the trades or the picks on the players in this top window?
There's one. Oh, I thought it was going to be a clean one, but it's not. Illy, Shotzi, the duo with the headshots. I wonder sometimes if, like, players change their monitor settings, like, for this map.
Oh, I'm sure. FOV, who knows what they're doing, honestly. Or what they have. I'm sure they practice.
Wait.
What, Standy? He was in a 1v3.
Wait.
That's it. He's clutched on up. He's able to find Crim. He gets Illy off the bomb. It's a time thing now. Shotzi trying to hunt him down. Standy clutches it in the 1v3.
I guess I, like, wasn't hyping that up yet because I thought Illy was just going to stop fighting it and plant the bomb. But then I don't know if he was just trying to keep him distracted so Shotzi could get the angle.
It's just an over challenge, yeah.
Yeah, or just thinking maybe he didn't have a comfortable position to plant from, which it could be the case. But I guess that whole time I wasn't really hyping up.
But he has to stay alive, though.
I thought he was going to stop and plant the bomb.
Yeah, he's the one that has to plant. With the time remaining, basically he just has to wait till Shotzi can challenge him, so he can start planting that bomb. But with Illy going down, that's the round.
Okay, well that was unexpected.
Yeah, we're talking about monitor settings. I'm like, hold on a second.
Yeah, no. I just the whole time even that gunfight was happening, I'm like, he's gonna get it down. He's gonna plant it. Okay, now he's dead. Now what? Just happened. So the defense will remain perfect. And Shotzi still trying to work on that streak as he's on 4 in a row. You can see how difficult it is to deal with somebody from this boat. This map sometimes literally it's like who can hit the beams. It's you have such a small window at long range sometimes. Like you miss a bullet, you probably won't get the kill.
Oh,
Tash drops.
Nice first blood. A trophy just goes down too, right? Like that nade connected. Crim, there's those beams you were talking about. Standy has that trophy a little bit earlier. Attach might be alive. Now it's down to Standy and Priesta, but you see Shotzi through the X-ray going on the flank. Illy and Shotzi with these Krigs. They are beaming right now.
It's literally just been Craig. Outside like the fellow clutch.
I think that was just 4 from Dallas Empire. Yeah, you had 4 right there.
Whereas hopping to Krieg's trying to beam across. But like that, yeah, the Crim shots were an example. I think he misses like a bullet there. Accuracy might be able to back down. It's safe, but he doesn't. Shotzi now 5 in a row. Now where's the separation cup? Can somebody finally win an offense? Fellow doing his best to run out of ammo again. There's a nice first blood. Or sits Illy.
That's the second time.
They're gonna
Second
wrap this
defensive
back.
round in a row on Priesta. And accuracy knows this. He is a little bit aggressive. So he's letting his teammates know what's going to be. But now it's on accuracy. Yeah, what can he find, or is he going to get caught?
He's going to get caught. They fake the wrap to B. They wrap right back, and now they got a wide open bomb site at A. Well, wide open for a second is Attach and Standy are just sprinting across. Crim pelting him with bullets as he tries to get through. Clears out the trophy so he can get the nades on in, but Shotzi is going to stick it through it. And again, standing in this time hit the 10 health. IKON on the cross, but the reposition from attached will turn it into a 2 versus 2.
Yeah, Illy's just trying to stay alive. You see the repositioning from Krim. Krim is watching that cross to the bomb. He's the one trying to make the play. He's going to catch Standy. Illy repositions middle of the map, and Krim, they were waiting for him. They were waiting for him, and he makes the play. There's that offense you were looking for, but it's Priest at 2 defensive rounds in a row who gets caught beachside. Accuracy follows that up, and he's like, okay, they rotated away, but they wrap right back.
They should have won the last one, too. I mean,
you're not wrong. Yeah.
But there, I mean, Krim, I think at some point, he's like, I've put 700 damage into Standy. I've got to get this kill.
Yeah, he's 4-4. I can't wait to see his damage after this, too.
I mean, just in that sequence, he hit him for 100, hit him for 140, then finally killed him. Like, he's battling for his kills out there like it's Verdansk.
Yeah, it's looking like you on the map.
Yeah, some damage, but not many kills. They've got the numbers here massively. It was a big stack towards A. Coming back across, I think was Illy and Fellow, but greeted with bullets instantly, and Fellow can't quite get out of harm's way. What, softened up here, and then I think, yeah, accuracy hits the shots from, well, where he is every round.
And maybe they were just thinking B has not worked for them. They're going to switch it up. Shotzi's going to try to go on the flank, but when you're down a man, it is going to take some heroics. There's 3 players near Shotzi. That's going to be an easy trade. Accuracy, he's just doing his job. He is wasting their time. Keep shooting at me. It doesn't matter. You have to defuse the bomb. My teammates are ready for you. And that's just what you kind of said. You had a stack towards the A site. B wasn't working for RØKKR. Empire, they make a call. Fellow, though, he gets first-blooded. Bomb site wide open.
And of course, when one team wins an offense, the other team decides to win an offense. So we're right back to where we started.
Usually how it works.
Yeah, right back to where we started as we check out the best play there from Standy. But it's tough because even though, like, you know, accuracy is going to be there basically always, it's still just, they were double channeling him. It's still hard to finish him before he can get down.
Yeah, it's just a tough angle. The wall bangs hit. Just don't do a ton of damage. There's not a lot of spots where you can really catch him out in the open for free without having to hit 5-6 shots, and he just gets down.
See, definitely J2 or whatever from World War II. Or,
yeah.
Wait, what was it? Sorry, Black Ops 4. What game was FMJ like so insane? Was it World War II that it ended up getting restricted?
World War II was pretty crazy, yeah. But then you had like FMJ2 with Black Ops 4, that was a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, there would help. There would help. Empire trying to close this out, take a 2-0 edge. Reminder, winner, it's third. It's a winner's bracket start at the major. And they're wrapping this the whole way around. Attach will be the point man defensively. He's got Standy here to work with. And that nade over the top.
I was hoping it would hit.
I was hoping
it would have hit.
I wasn't sure if it hit at all or that was just the beams from Fellow.
Yeah, that was just good shots from Fellow. They find that first blood. You still have Standy up top, though. They have not cleared top balcony. They have to know that there could be someone in there. They do know. Illy was ready for it. Krim was able to take down accuracy on the rotation. Now it's all down to Standy. He's got so much work to do. He punched 1-1v3. The beams with the 74, you were there. But 25 seconds to work with. He's got to go.
Yeah, that is not an easy gunfight, but unfortunately his situation still very dire. Fellow from that position, you see it all the time. Good luck killing him. 15 seconds to go. Shotzi's dancing inside, pre-firing. You'll get the kill, but now not really going to matter. There's not enough time on the clock. He'll chase down the kill. He'll end it. Oh, I thought he was going to do a 6 but he'll end up dropping to Fellow. Empire get the victory. They take it 6-4. They're up 2-0. And Joe, how did you feel about some of the search there from Empire?
I thought they looked really good. I think there was a couple of rounds they'll go back and fix. I think some over challenges, especially from Illy in a few of those rounds. But they looked pretty darn comfortable. Fellow just right off the get-go, showing his presence at that site. I thought they looked like a coordinated unit.
Yeah, I want to see Krim's damage compared to kills for sure. But then also, yeah, just a lot of what we were talking about map 1, like Illy and Shotzi kind of working together great to find kills, and Wayne about 5 for 1600.
Got Illy right there too.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about somebody else,
it's just beams everywhere. Everybody's just putting shots in, right?
Yeah, no, he was hammering people. Just wasn't getting a lot of the kills, but helping the squad get set up or delaying some of the transitions for his team or for the opposition for sure. Now Empire will head to a control to see if they can close this out in a 3-0 fashion. I just feel like every time you and I have casted this, I feel like we've casted it every time they've played this year, there has been something absurd that has happened. There has been some crazy moment, some wild Game 5 finish, reverse sweep, last-minute heroics, like something. I'm hoping for more here, but I don't know. Empire so far outclassing RØKKR.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at our U.S. Army tactical play. We're going to be checking out Fellow, and we'll see what he's got going. This is right from round 1, right? Just right off the get-go. And you know, Priesta, he's kind of just taking that first shot, gets that first blood. But Fellow peeks it from up top of B. They figure out that this is going to be an A hit. He's able to take him down. Now he backs on up, and he just plays his position so smart. You know, he's put into that 1-on-2 situation where accuracy and attach have to get the bomb down, but he plays the clock, understands it, uses that weaponry he has to his advantage.
And yeah, soon we'll get to the kind of final moments where the big clutch comes in once he's in that 1 versus 2, but manageable because he gets the kill onto the bomb player. Accuracy, as you can be probably totally surprised in the window. Having one of his 40 duels there with Krim.
And I think Attach hears Shotzi mantle that. So you see the way Attach repositions. He's ready for it. He's able to find this kill. It's not as clean as he would probably like. But I like right after the way he repositions. Standing gets down. And, you know, Fellow's probably thinking, all right, he's going to challenge me right away. But Attach dips. He figures out, okay, I still have 20 seconds. I can go on the long flake, but I have to wait for accuracy. Fellow now just needs to wait for that bomb sound. He does. And now it's just about getting the player not on the site. Takes his time, figures actually he's going to re-challenge. And, well, there's the S&D experience that you see from Fellow.
Yeah, just a great read. I mean, he could have played like a delayed push back through top, but he reads the wrap back, wins the 1-on-1 that is.
Picture flames all around me. I'm sitting here, I'm in my chair, and I'm like, this is fine. Yeah, no problem, man. Just down 0-2 to Dallas Empire in a match that would help us, obviously qualify for winner's bracket and Major 3 next week. If we lose, we go to loser's bracket. Man. I definitely thought, I mean, you and I think both thought at least one of those 2 maps right there would go RØKKR's way. The hard point just barely can't eke that one out. The search and destroy, craziness. Dallas ends up taking an offense and taking the whole map. Is all lost, IKON? Was there anything you gleaned from that map in particular, or should we look forward here at the control raid?
Yeah, I mean, the good news is that raid control is coming up, and Minnesota is a really good, probably one of the best raid control teams, and Dallas is not so great. They have a 5-7 record on the year. But just thinking back to that S&D, it's been kind of confusing to see how Minnesota's played offenses on Miami, because the last time we saw them play that map against LAG, they had a ton of success at opening the top side of the map. They were able to get kills on that player that always plays towards Sailboat. And the way they were able to do that is they were able to sneak through mid-map. So get a kill mid-map, they were able to sneak through and then pinch that player on Sailboat. And once that happened, then they were able to take control of the bomb site, get the bomb down, and then play from there. This match, Shotzi was just too much, and they couldn't get a kill mid-map, couldn't get a kill on Shotzi. So with, like half of the round gone, they had to reconsider. They had to rotate over towards B, and by the time that happens, it just so happened that Fellow also had a really good match. When they rotated over, Fellow was always there. He does a really nice job of sticking a kill and then repositioning and then just getting in an awkward spot where you don't expect them to be in. But all is not lost, because as we've seen many times before, you go to control raid. It's a map that Minnesota is really good at. This is actually the same exact situation where Minnesota was able to reverse sweep Seattle. They were able to get a win on control raid that gave them momentum. And then you push into Hardpoint Apocalypse, which Dallas has not played yet. There has to be a reason why they haven't played that. And then you go to S&D raid, and who knows what happens when you get to a map 5.
Yo, shout out Standy giving the happy Mother's Day video. Sorry we
Yeah.
didn't have audio for that, but shout out him. He's wearing the V1 shirt as well. Go off. Yeah, I mean, great points about the search and destroy there. It always feels like on Miami, whatever team's going to be able to steal an offense there is going to take the thing, and Dallas did that twice, right? So, you know, that's kind of how that one went. You have to just, you know, move on to the next one. I think obviously, if you're looking for a map for RØKKR to bounce back on, you want it to be control raid. This is very, very much a trampoline. Could be it. Could be what helps, you know, start the reverse sweep for us. And if we can make it to map 4, which hopefully we can, where, like you said, go on Hardpoint Apocalypse versus Dallas, who has not played that in an official match yet, and RØKKR will have the good side starting for that map. So, and then if you can win that, you make it to a map 5, anything could happen.
Yep.
I'm excited to see how it goes. They're going to have to take it one map at a time, one round at a time, one kill at a time. Guys, we can still do this. The reverse sweep could start here. Reminder, winner of this match goes to the winner's bracket of Major 3 tournament next week. All this whole stage, all these matches you guys have watched for the last 4 or 5 weeks, all lead in to next week, and the seeding is so important. You don't want to be in loser's bracket, then you cannot lose at all. And you don't want that. That's a bad vibe for us. But anyway, it looks like the third map's about to start here. So I'm going to kick you guys over to the CDL stream. But IKON and I'll be back after the control on raid. And we'll see you guys then.
Yeah, 100%. Especially throughout that map 1. But control, they have really struggled here. And this is the map. Minnesota RØKKR have not played this map because I don't think teams have left it open for them in vetoes. When they got Stanley on the team right away, this was their go-to. They turned things around on this raid control, winning it back-to-back. They're winning it a lot. So the first time we're going to see it here in stage 3 for them, they are 8-4.
So you have RØKKR can answer the call, just battling for a winner's bracket start. Standy, well, of course, sliding his way right into the mix.
Yeah, pretty default setup here from both teams, 3-on-3. Grim just trying to work that pick. Standy playing his life, doing a beautiful job as he uses a big progression, and accuracy is able to get into a new spot. You do have Attach kind of lurking up towards that B side. He's able to find a kill, and you see the Empire arrows kind of all turned towards him. They're focused on him. Illy, though, just goes through the middle of the map. He gets him off A, so there's no one currently on A right now for RØKKR.
Well, they'll track back, get set up onto the point. Zacchaeus is trying to hunt one down, but Illy is just going to reposition to drive away, but the call-out comes in. Priesta picks it up, and with that, they'll finish A. 2 players in Empire do push all the way up to apartment side. He's going to funnel people towards kitchen and back kitchen. Set up there will be Illy trying to help. He's going to be Krim, but as Illy falls, there's going to be a lot of pressure over to Krim 6. See if he can, well, stay up till he gets some help.
Yeah, I mean, huge gunfight there because that's also accuracy. Accuracy, he could help them dealing with top bedroom. Priesta, Standy, attach all those, stay alive, the peek out wide. Does he take it down, but Fellow stands strong as he's able to find 2. But Priesta on 6 in a row. You see he's already earned the artillery.
Might be difficult to get the final streak considering his position and being all by himself, but the rest of the fights really go on towards the RØKKR spawn, and Priesta just wants to set up for a freebie. What off angle can I maybe take to get a free pick? Unfortunately for him, everyone else funnels water side or towards kitchen. I thought he had a free one, but the slide is in for Shotzzy. Now Priesta's position giving up. The double chow in, bullets into both, but no second streak.
Nice job there by Fellow and Shotzzy. They're still down 6 lives, though. A lot of time to work with. Standing in accuracy to find the openers. Shotzzy's trying to just finesse and play his life, and it feels like a lot of the times when the defense holds, they continuously control that tiki bar. Shotzzy just trying to get the information, and nades come in and a nice flake from Krim. So I know they're down in lives, but that clock really starting to tick, and when they get pressure and Krim is beaming like that, they only have a couple of pushes left.
Well, he had a slow start. I mean, he's 3-7, but then they're just hitting the shots, and every life's so valuable when you have a big deficit like that, but they bring it back even close to it right after that sequence. Send everybody back to mount up this break again for RØKKR. Fellow, I don't know how many he spotted, but he gets some information with the peek through a kitchen, and they want to invest the streak on this first point, try to close it out. What a moment this could be for Empire if they can hold on, survive the streaks. Fellow gets a kill during that stretch. It'll be big. It's Illy through on the flank. He might have a couple free ones in front. Attach gets outside the window, but to be greeted by the other side of that young duo. Great hold from Empire.
Well, I don't think they thought Fellow was going to spawn there, right? They get the opening kill. Fellow spawns on court. They start to make their push, and Fellow's like, oh, hello, I'm here. So he gets a freebie. And then inside a kitchen, they're able to stay alive. Nice job by the Dallas Empire. Yeah, with the streak working against them, they were down in the lives. But they hold on. Prim, I think he finished on a 5 spree as well. So we'll start with him. Priestahh invests that streak. A big win for Dallas Empire.
Yeah, I think it's huge considering how it looked early. I mean, you get A, pretty easy. You have a life advantage. You have streaks available. Well, 1 streak available for Priestahh. It doesn't look great, but the fact you're able to hold on, get that streak exhausted, and win the round is massive. Now, offensively, what can Empire do? They're looking to close this out with 3-0. They don't want to see a deeper part of this series. Let's go right to an Astro Listening with Dallas Empire.
One shot, Priestahh, one shot.
Yeah, attaches in a
Yo, help me.
Yo, make sure you get this.
Yo,
ramp. Weak, and one's art.
Sit down, Porter, sit down.
Art attached.
One's going mid, one's going mid.
Yeah.
Come B. Wait, I'm going middle Z.
Priestahh, I got full streaks.
No,
I got full
one
streaks.
is it?
2A.
Yeah, that guy,
One is laundry ramp.
he's probably spawn going.
One's on B.
Yeah.
One's on B.
Yo, let's get mid control.
I'm middle.
Wow, Tiki, absolute Sandy. He's half health. One's money.
Top ring, Lamar.
Drop it.
And kitchen, guys, and kitchen.
Yep.
Drop it at me. Back up.
And there's a guy top.
Watch out, drop it.
I'm
I
playing
got
B.
flashed.
I got him.
Nice, they can be mid.
Top ring, right? Top ring.
Bottom pool, one shot as well.
One shot top ring.
Okay, I'm
Yo,
coming.
listen, I have 2 streaks, by the way.
Top ring.
Huge
Listen,
one,
Tyler.
huge
One more ring, attach. Weak, half health.
I have Z pinch.
Yeah,
Look at
they're
mid,
hold on.
priest to that. One more
Top
ring.
ring dead.
I hear you.
Nice, 3. Get A.
They're probably going to be on pinch.
Yeah, we're looking
Ramp,
for
I think. He's probably going to go top and play exit, too.
I'm looking top on.
Marty middle, guys.
I'm going mid.
Yep, I'm holding kitchen.
Oh, no, he's off on C.
Oh, he got me.
Oh, he hit
He's still
Z.
there. He's in Z.
Front Z, weak. Front
And
Z,
Z
weak.
still?
When is back near me?
Oh, there's two.
Your time, we have streaks,
Yo,
guys.
hold on, I have full streaks. He's on the ramp, and he's
We
going
should
front.
get full us then, Tyler.
Yeah.
I'm coming. Bottom outer.
Yeah, front line going ring.
Flag
And top. Sandy's weak. One's low outer challenge.
Oh, he
I'll get
chopped. Yeah, low got me. Yo, slow down.
Low dead.
One top on you.
One
Top
top.
on you.
Yeah,
Sandy.
when is our art somewhere?
Low on me. Low Sandy. One shot. He's behind you, guys. Behind you, he went left corner. Oh, he
left.
jumped up. You heard him.
Yeah, top.
Yeah,
Right,
14-21.
L wall dead. Lamar on one shot.
top.
So one's top.
Yeah,
He's still
top.
here. I need
He's
my
on
low.
the ledge or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Got him.
Nice.
We hear the calls from Krim kind of like, I've got the full streaks. Let's slow it down a little bit, find some openers. They were, I don't know, maybe a little too fast there considering the presence of that apartment. They lose a lot of lives, but now they slow it down. They group up. They call the streaks in. Illy gets a kill. As the streak comes in, this could be a moment. A second's going to drop. A third is going to drop. An opening for Empire. Now to pounce on the point.
Yeah. Priestahh working the flank. You could be the one guy, and Attach is able to find a kill. That might be enough. Because he's going to stop that. Yeah, and they're trying to find Priestahh. So Attach with a huge one because they were about to stack the point. They were giving up map control, but Priestahh goes huge. They survive the cruise missile. They're still up 4 lives, and 2 ticks are needed for the Dallas Empire. But yeah, throughout that, there was just a couple of times where Standy flanks through Zig, they were a little caught off by it. Double challenge out of bedroom, they were caught off by. So it's good comms. There was just a couple of things they were not ready for. The RØKKR did a great job fighting back into this defensive round.
Well, they just did it again. I think they were 2 down, and accuracy gets 2 big kills right around Tiki. Keep the pressure off, but you still got Shotzzy and Kitchen on 4 in a row. Pushing up water side is Fellow. Fellow still up. Shotzzy still on the 3. 3 down. Into the point they go. He's going to streak right off a spawn. Here's the artillery.
He's not going to call it. He's just going to give them the comms. He's like, they're not there. They're not in a position. They're going to try and hold it. Force them to come out. I like that patience. And Dallas Empire, they do it again. A last-second push, and throughout that push, Standy actually makes a great play because Standy was bottom bedroom. They had no idea that he was there. He let one player fly on off the top side. He didn't shoot at him. He was able to find that opening. Hill was playing very patient, but everyone around him went down.
I thought he was calling it in, but yeah, just gets the information and says, hey, we can close this out. We don't need the streak. They get the pre-aim ready. They win it. And for the 400th time this year, It's a late win on offense for Empire in control, and Shotzi will carry that 5 streak over to our next round. It is not carried for long as accuracy sends him to an early nap here in the 3rd round.
And now you have that streak just to hang on if things go bad at B, right? Just to hit them off it if you do get control, if you are RØKKR. Off the start. I was going to say, strong start for Minnesota, but Shots and Illy do rebound, so there's only one player on this. Shotzi, he wants to challenge it.
Yeah, that's what we can call that. He comes soaring out of the window.
Yeah, he was ready.
Well, it's a quick first point again. Not too much separation in the lives, so you still have that artillery. Might need to retake, but you're going to have to hold for quite some time. 2 minutes to do it. 2 do drop, but look how far pushed up Krim is still on that apartment side. He's going to make things difficult for that pinch to open up for RØKKR. And, well, there's not going to be a pinch because they die on the other side of it as well.
Ooh. Wow, that was just straight headshots from Fellow. He melted accuracy. Okay, and then on the other side, accuracy responds with 2 headshots from the Craig. And that's going to open up the middle of the map. You see, they're just flying. They're trying to get kitchen control. It's all going to be about Tiki. You still have Krim up top in that window. They're going to have to fly on out. Still 90 seconds to work with. They're trying to find Illy maybe off a spawn. Hatch tries to pick that up, but he loses the gunfight, so that'll slow things down for RØKKR. Then Illy gets 2. Illy gets 2 off his spawn.
I think he just ends up pinching through mid just based on the position of RØKKR all around kitchen side. And he's still going. He's still up. And Priest is just like bobbing and weaving, looking back and forth, trying to predict where it's going to come from. He ultimately gets the kill. That's going to be 3 down. Krim's going to be the last guy. He's been apartment this entire time. He's focused on one side. Standy gets an angle on the other and into the point. Go RØKKR. Yeah, you got to assume it's coming in now. So there's the artillery. It gets him off the point. It stops him from getting that second bit of objective progress. But now can they swarm in behind it? RØKKR is still here.
Yeah, they're able to find a kill inside a kitchen. They needed money in window control. Did Dallas Empire. They don't have it. Krim is able to find one. I can't tell how close we are because of the sun, and we were pretty darn close.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had no idea where that 3rd bar was. No clue whatsoever.
No, not a clue. But even with that streak right here, accuracy pinches Illy. Then he's able to play his life. That's where Illy wanted to fly from. As a defensive team, you know, getting on a basketball court is not easy if you do not have cutout or money window control. Accuracy recognized the situation. He made sure he covered that for his team. Nice job from him.
Yeah, no, I mean, if there's no one like apartment side or window, or it's just you're getting funneled into one spot, right? Like you don't have a whole lot of options, especially when they're on the objective and you're kind of forced to fly. You don't have a ton of choices. Great job by RØKKR staying up in this. Yeah, you relied on some crazy late round plays to get that offensive win if you're Empire. So you got to think you got a good shot to take this to a final round. And, well, 4 dead at the start, that'll help.
See how Empire can get out of this. Well, at least finds one who was trying to get a lot of a forward progression. But there's this line being set up now. What do Empire want to do? It looks like maybe just try to get control of bedroom. You know, we see some teams sort of start out going towards B and then just rushing through middle across towards A. It's a bit of a 2-2 split. This split not working right now for Dallas.
This is what you just got to close it out. I just feel like you mentioned how this already has maybe reverse sweep written all over it if RØKKR win this map 3, but the fact you were up 2-0, you just got to close it out. Now it's going to get more difficult as Standy is right in between enemy lines. They've only got 30 seconds here to get some kind of point for an extension, and Standy, he's shutting it down. They got to pick a side and push it out. They still have, I think, Priesta in their apartment side. Nice win by Illy. All right, that's 2 down. Should free it up for a moment. There's one lurking courtyard, but Attach has been picked up. This should be the 8-pointer close to it.
Krim flying with that crate. Nice movement for him to dodge that nade. You still have a 9-life advantage, though. So even when they get this progression done at A, if they do, hold on a second, never mind. Priestess says no, and now he's on a 6 in a row. Oh, he's trying to play for streaks. He's just 1 away He's one away. Illy not going to win the gunfight. Priesta has been so good on this map.
They get the retake. Now they got no choice but to sprint towards B. I don't even think they can get there for the contest. Even if there weren't players in their way, they can't get through. Priesta. What a play it is there with the beams to get him off the point, to get the streaks. But yeah, you mentioned the deficit. That's RØKKR got the first like 8 kills or something like that. Like it was insane.
Yeah, just a beautiful start. You can kind of see it developing. You basically need like 1 or 2 just to make things a little bit messy, middle of the map, or you could get pushed out towards the zone, but they don't. Minnesota RØKKR play their lives. They lock them in, and now another defensive round. What adjustments are going to be made by the Dallas Empire? They need a better start. Well, Standy, we just saw it in that best play. He was the one to find the opening kills, but he does get taken down.
And Priesta, he had 1 or both? He's got 1, right?
Just 1 for right now, but he's still alive. Now he does get taken down. Oh, Attach has some as well. Attach has some as well. Attach just called in a streak.
Okay. So even more streaks than we were aware of. The first one hits. Still even from a live standpoint. Nice movement from Krim, but couldn't quite snap onto Attach. Attach gets the stick right before he drops as well, as there is just a gunfight seemingly everywhere on the map. The next point of attack will be B for Empire. And thankfully they have somebody on A as well, so if this were to catastrophically fail, you're about to get the second bit of progress today. There's going to be a one-on-one there now, actually. It's going to be Illy and Accuracy, I think, fighting on the other side. Illy is able to win that there. So the fact he wins that one-on-one, you lose the progression towards B, but you still have the clock stop that entire time.
Well, Priesta, he's going to call it. He called that in. Yeah, they're going to. Okay. Oh, okay. He just activated. He doesn't call it in. I thought they were going to try and stop it. You could tell they were playing very aggressive. They basically just wanted to play the clock. But as you said, Dallas Empire, they kind of paused it for long enough. 17 versus 17, 90 seconds to work with.
Well, yeah, just that, the benefit of having somebody on either side.
But at least they know now. I mean, they may not have known that Priesta was on a streak. I mean, you hear that it's activated. So at least they know they they're going to have to deal with an artillery.
With a little over a minute left, you'd love to force that out sooner than later if you can. Get a 3 or 4 down now. Try and get it out of that back pocket so you can get a clean push without worrying about the artillery over the top. And they found a kill here and there, but just haven't been able to get the multi-kill through. And Standy from Tiki and Priesta there with the play. RØKKR so close to ripping off 3 straight rounds. Push this to a map 4.
You see Accuracy's position, number 5. This is what we see a lot of the times from Toronto Ultra. When you have kitchen and ring control, you force them to push down low. Then you can collapse from all the different angles. And that's what they forced Dallas Empire to do. Now with 7 lives remaining, now make it 5. They're going to have to go. Shotzzy waiting for his teammate in Krim. That's a nice nade. There's still a player in money window. And, well, you can't forget about the artillery. Priest is going to call this in now. Going to try and dagger it. Never mind. It's going to be Accuracy with his multi-kill. Well, Minnesota RØKKR, it seems like they held on.
Hold on. Okay, now. Now it's just going to be Krim last alive. When they got 2 down, I thought maybe another Empire miracle. But too many players to deal with. RØKKR stay alive with 3 straight rounds, and now it gets a lot more interesting. And you mentioned how you felt like if RØKKR won this map, they had a good chance to take the series. And why was that, Joe?
Well, we just haven't seen Empire play Apocalypse. 0-0, not one that they have gone to. Minnesota 2-1, and then if we do get to a map 5, you have a raid, search, and destroy. It's not a bad map for Empire, but it's one where Minnesota has played it 2 times throughout Stage 3, and they've won it both times.
I just feel a fan for Empire. Felt like you had the series. Felt like you had a 3-0. You let it slip away. Priest and Attach go huge to get streaks over the course of that game. They come in, and they're crucial in the round 5. And well, after every map, we've seen Empire, somebody fired up, whether it's Fellow or Illy. Just getting hyped up, but tough to do after a loss. Joe, from the stats, what, fellow 6,300 damage?
Oh,
Okay,
look at accuracy's damage. 7,100. 28 and 27. I know Priesta had a great map, but that is a ton of damage. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's softening him up, right? Like attach your Priesta, somebody probably getting the kills, and it works out as they get towards streaks. But yeah, accuracy. It looks like he was peppering everything on the map, and yeah, you mentioned at the tail end of that round 5, just kind of the trap they were trying to get them into, or the fact they were getting them to funnel water side. They had a map position in the world. They bled them out from a live standpoint. Empire gets to.
Woo! IKON, we needed that, man. That could be the momentum that we needed. I got real nervous. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw that we kind of choked that first round offense there, we lost the next defense. Right? And then we just, boom, ripped 3 in a row. The momentum is now on our side. Priesta, I mean, I can't count on 2 hands the amount of incredible plays he made that map. I mean, it was absolutely nuts. Standy dropped like 31. Accuracy dropped 7k damage, over 7k damage. Attach was a nuisance and getting in all the right spots. Whew, we can breathe easy now. Do you think that could be the momentum that we needed to put this thing back to a map 5?
1,000%. And I know that map did end up going round 5, but the first offense, there were 2 different scenarios where if Minnesota wins a 1v1, they have control of that B point over towards water. Everybody else off of spawns would come in and they would have won that first offense too. It was a 1v1 here and they lost. And then there was a 1v1 there and they lost both of those scenarios. I will say I like the fact that in the second offense, they're spawning over towards weight room because Crim was pushed all the way over towards top apartments. When they spawned off weight room, I like it when their SMGs hit kitchen rather than go that long flank over towards laundry because it takes so much time to develop. And once you get there, they're going to be set up on headies. It's hard gun battles to win in the first place. And you're probably going to lose a player or 2. And if you do, then you have to kill those guys again because then by the time you get into B, it takes so many things have to go your way. If you hit that long flank towards jungle, I like when they spawn towards weights, get control of mid-map, get into kitchen, and then things can get dicey from there. So like we talked about earlier, I know they went down 0-2, but we've seen it before, recent as 2 weeks ago. This is a momentum shift. Now you go into Apocalypse with Dallas hasn't played yet. Minnesota is 2-1 on this map. So get it to a 2-2, go to S&D on raid, and anything can happen at that point.
Yeah, I was getting a little bit like just question marks and frustration while watching. I mean, I know that there's a reason for like spawns, or I'm sure there's a valid reason why they push and overextend through laundry and try to take control on offense from there. But I feel like Toronto, and now we just saw on a different offense that the RØKKR played, when they all flooded kitchen, the results were a lot better and a lot more, I guess, yeah, as you said, like kind of makes it a little bit more dicey if you lose the trade war on laundry side and that push, and then Dallas is still spawning decently quick and near. It can get a little crazy. So glad we're able to turn that around. This is exactly the momentum that we needed to go into the hard point map 4, take the dub. Hopefully it's not over till it's over. Dallas has not played this, so who knows why they haven't played it. Maybe they just didn't. Maybe they just had really strong maps before with Hook on the team, and now that Hook is not on the team, you have Fellow. Fellow's been playing amazingly, by the way. He's played great in all 3 of the maps, or all 2 of the maps, I think. No, we played 3. Sorry, my brain's gone. We had to fill too much time at the beginning. But yeah, Fellow's playing well, so we'll see like what they look like on APOC. We are gonna have the good spawn for it. Are you able to just describe to me like why is good spawn for certain hard point maps so important?
Well, on Apocalypse, it basically allows you to go up as much as 60, 70 points. On Apocalypse, you want to get that right side spawn over towards Temple. And if you can just win one team gun battle over towards P1, then you're set up to hold spawns, get the majority of time inside P1, which is in the middle of the map, and hold Temple. So you can just chain those back to back, get the time in P1, chain it over towards P2, and then as you go from P3 to P4 to P5, then you have a while for P3, P4 to P5, you want to have the left side of the map. But you can, if you get a big lead, you have all of those hills. You only need one break. If you break over towards P4, then now you can get the time inside P5, and you're going to win that first set of rotations. So just winning the time inside of P1 and chaining that into P2, it gives you a little bit of leeway room. And then you can just try to flip. If you win P5, you're going to have a lead, and then it goes over towards the second set of rotations, and you try to do it all over again.
Yeah, and that's hopefully what we'll see. When you have the good side on a hardpoint map, you got to try to take advantage of every single second that you can. So hopefully the guys can do that. So let's see how Empire looks on this map. We've not seen them in an official league match on this map. So let's kick it to the hardpoint map 4. Can we pull the reverse sweep? Who knows? We'll have to get to map 5 first. IKON and I will see you after the apocalypse.
How much that matters?
Okay.
I feel like in some spots it has. We've talked about a team not really playing it much. And some teams come out and absolutely dominate that particular map. I have got no idea what to expect from Empire, but the last team to play it, they'll get into it now, is everyone has played APOC in this stage. Is Shotzi. Well, he didn't have much of a chance because he was nearly dead before he got to the doorway.
That's Accuracy, who coming off a great map 3 with 7,100 damage. That's some of the highest I've seen. I know we all the way 5 rounds. For Dallas Empire, it's just controlling the right side of the map. You see Shotzi just patrolling back and forth. That's where our second hill is going to be. One of those muddy hills on the map. Nice job so far, Minnesota RØKKR. Trying to get control of the low side of the map. If you're able to push up early on in the first hill, you can spawn your opponents out, but it's all Empire in the feed.
Yeah, no, Krim is just locking down this low side, making sure absolutely nobody can get through. RØKKR just keep funneling into the ARs. They're getting pounded off any potential spawns. With 5 seconds left, well, the next push has been staggered. This should be a lot of clean time for Empire. And you got to think Empire were, started a little bit slow in the map 1 hard point. Here they get a hot start. Got to think it bodes a lot better for them.
You have Shotzi and Krim both on force priest.
I mean, Krim had 3 through 4 hard points. He's got 6 now.
Krim does get taken down, but you still have Shotzi alive on a 5. And just as I say that, I cast or cursed him, so both those sprees end. But I mean, as that happened, as they're pushing down low all the time, is on the way of Dallas Empire. 30 seconds left. You just have the first push, but that's beautifully done. Priest and Attach to find the openers. If they hit split time here, that is great for RØKKR.
Shotzi is just hoping this gold is very powerful because he is trying to use it as cover in the backside of it. But yeah, you get the opening kills, you spawn Empire out, you break in, and you'll get some time. Not a ton, but RØKKR do get through to keep this close. They need to do kind of what Empire did in that first map. Like, it's not a great start, but just try to keep it in striking distance.
So you saw Fellow there with a third 74. Can we check out Priesta if we can? Just want to see what he's rocking for right now. We get a sight. So he's got a Kree out. So you have 374 used versus 2 Kree set up on this.
We'll try to keep an eye on that throughout the course of it. See if it changes, but it's Standy, our game field featured player. Got a hot start. He's 1 and 5. Gets his second there. His teammates find the rest of the kills. Nice little snapback movement. Shots on point. Takes out Fellow. And they're roaring back into this one. A nice hold here as Standy keeps this stretch going. Just try to reposition. Continue to find players. Krim the next victim. There is one behind him. Will he get the read? Gets it, but just a little bit too late. Fellow stops and he streaks.
Yeah, your job is done, though. You do a great job there throughout this hill. You earn some time, but you flip the spawns for the 4th and hopefully the 5th hill. You can see with the Empire, that's what they're trying to do. You have Illy working down low. You're going to have Fellow trying to work the front. Work on this pinch. At least get them off the time. But Attach just baiting the shots. Him and Priesta, nice job between that duo. But Illy trying to do what he can, fighting by himself. Actually, he's buying time. That's just so well done by Accuracy.
Yeah, annoying. Just beautifully finessing around the truck, making sure no kind of opening in. But, we listened to the comms with Empire a bit earlier in this one. RØKKR now, the team trying to bring it back after the control win. Everyone battling for a spot in that winner's bracket. Let's go to an Astro listen-in with Minnesota RØKKR.
All right. Top right.
Top of the rock.
On the hop. Listen, look for me.
Stay with them.
Nice. Listen, they're looking for me new for sure.
You're spawning back temple,
Yeah.
I think.
One's here.
Go, 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 go.
One's in the
Not
back.
good time, not good time.
One's behind me.
One's back hill, back hill.
Yo, top dead.
In rug, illy, in rug, illy.
One shot. There's
Rug,
one mid.
one shot, rug, one
One
shot.
mid, guys. I got
Rug, dead.
We spawned here,
one
we spawned here.
mid. Give me front AK.
Okay, okay.
Get that,
Yo,
get that.
Coop,
I'm going
Coop,
new.
Coop to L, Coop to L.
Spawner.
Okay, I'm going
I'm
on.
looking out. Looking out. He's out.
I need
Stunned.
time.
Yo, I spawn on you.
He's top, he's top.
Hold,
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 hold.
hold.
One's top.
Yeah, one top. Look
One's
at
top,
drop.
T-Dog.
Oh, he's behind me, guys. He's back rugs on top.
Yo, top, they're all hitting the back.
They spawned in the
Oh,
back. They spawned in the back. They
Get
spawned in
to
the
the
back.
front, get to the front. You drop down, One shot.
Nice.
on the back.
Hurt.
They're
Wallbang,
wallbang
wallbang,
out.
wallbang.
2-1-0.
Probably in the back.
Thank
guys.
God.
We're
Take
good.
your
We're
time,
good.
take
Take
your
your time,
time.
guys.
Fellas
I'm
on the
gonna come
truck
low.
somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna go low with you, Lamar.
In the back. In the back. I think one's scoop on me.
Yo, on top,
Alright. We're hitting low.
Yeah, one's in the back.
Okay.
Top, fellow dead.
Alright, let's go.
Nice.
Yo, on top, crib
They
dead.
nailed.
He's
I'm
close right
coming
now.
out.
Close right
Nice,
there.
good
Coach,
shot.
we can help. We
Last
can
guy,
help.
last guy.
He's front to back.
He ran out back door. He ran out back door.
Right.
Like
Top.
top.
We're flying the back.
Coming up top.
I can see
Up
your
top,
top.
up top,
I'm gonna go
dead.
left.
Good job. Go left.
Oh, he's mid.
Low.
He's mid. One's mid pushing low trench. He's gonna fly down.
Yeah, I think they're gonna hit Elo.
In window,
Top.
Illy. He's holding new. He's holding
Committing
new.
you, dead.
Low dead.
Nice.
You want to hit left
Illy's
again?
top cliff.
I'm priming
We
this shit
could,
for
we
you.
could.
I'm on a 4.
Oh, he's watching the cross from mid. He's
Yeah,
going.
keep
He's
shooting,
on
keep
top of
shooting,
trench.
keep
Top of
shooting,
trench.
keep
You should
Yeah,
push
he's
up,
back
Eli.
trench.
He's there, weak. Stella's there, really weak.
Okay, I can help you low. I can help you low.
Fellow dead.
Nice.
Good job.
I
I'm
can
gonna
work
run.
I have
Cooper
a
here.
push. I have a push.
Cooper
Yeah, I'm
here.
baiting. Follow me.
I don't see him on back barrels of hill.
Oh, he's on the heady on the right side. He just stood off. He's by 10.
He's under
Top
back.
map, map fit. Time.
Shotzi low, one shot.
Right side time.
Shotzi, one shot low.
Under bridge.
Shotzi's one shot low.
Crim dead.
One shot low, Shotzi. He's half health.
Okay, here.
Guys, I'm trying to hit this guy left.
Heal.
Shotzi's low.
He's on hill. You know, back to the hill. Shotzi on hill.
Cliff, one shot.
I'm gonna go left.
Yeah, Preston has the guy one
I'm
shot.
going
Nice.
shot TD.
I'm helping you, Preston.
I'm helping you,
I have your
Omar.
chase if you wanna go deep.
Cliff, dead.
Go, go,
Nice.
go.
On old.
Trench. One shot, low trench, low heli, one shot.
He's
One
low.
guy's gonna be in the back.
Yeah,
One
yeah,
guy's
I'm
in the back.
gonna get it.
I'm gonna
I'll
get
see
you
you
One
back.
in the back, in the back, and they're dead.
Nice. Last guy
You
low.
low 10, weak.
Got
I love that listening. It was awesome. Yeah, I mean, you heard Sandy, right? I'm on a spree. Someone's like, I'll bait for you. But it was very clean. Priesthood with a huge play there on this first hill. To find 3 kills, they flipped those spawns. Both teams with a couple of breaks at that 5th hill. I think it was, you had Empire break through towards the end of 4th. Then it was RØKKR fought on back. And then we saw Shotzi go up top right as we got into that listening. And you heard it. They're all hitting the back, but it is such a close game right now.
Well, Priesthood gets 2 huge one-on-one wins to kind of give them an opening here to break on through. It's like one team surging from top, one surging from bottom, but
Nobody
you still
can really hold.
Yeah, it's like no one. I mean, I know it's been Empire on the hard point for the most part, but it is still just a battle for any semblance of control here. There's going to be 3 down. Now, Accuracy, the last one up. Can he make a play to keep them off the point till the reinforcements get in? Now, maybe, okay, now maybe you get some time if you're Empire. I mean, it just took like 30 seconds for the dust to settle around that point.
Yeah, I mean, I think both teams going to go back and watch this. There's a plethora of mistakes that they made when they were in some really good opportunities, but Dallas Empire there, they bounce back after Priesthood makes those plays to get the spawns for the second hill. They just fire their way through the front. Now back up to 41 points. Head back towards our 3rd hill. You can see what's so important right now. Criminelli trying to make sure they have spawns on that bottom left side of the map.
Shotzi just trying to hit the movement to get out of harm's way as he's now on 4. You kind of heard it from the listening. You know, sometimes we say, like, when do you really start to focus on the streaks? I think kind of 4 is when you start to hear from Sandy, right? Like, I'm on 4. That's when he started to really think about those streaks and didn't end up getting them, but it was kind of cool to listen into that side of it.
It depends on the situation. They kind of knew they had control. Yeah. So I think when you have control with some scrap time left, it's sort of like hunting time of, hey, you know, I'm on 4. They got another one. All right, I'm on 5. Okay, Priest, all right, I'll bait for you. Yeah, it was a great listen. But Dallas Empire, they are in control as we are on board with our game field feature player, Sandy. He's going to have to make a play here. Look how deep shots he is. That number 1. Making sure Crim spawns with him. Fellow on the time.
Yeah, and you can't quite win it. I think there's about a second of difference here, but you get most of this time.
It's a huge pinch.
You might put it away, but yeah, will this pinch pay off? Fellow ready for one side of it, not the other. Priest gets 2, attach. And Accuracy find the other 2, and that is a huge break now for RØKKR with just over 30 seconds left in it, because, yeah, you get, about 20 more of those seconds if you're Empire, and I don't know how you pull this off, but when they needed a break, they got it done. Do we have another Game 5 thriller? eventually in the books between these two squads.
This reminds me just of the first rotation. It was like RØKKR broke on through and got the spawns, but then Empire responded. That's 3 dead. There is that scrap time. They're now set up for P5. Look at all the white arrows sprinting across the map. This is for winner's bracket start right here. This could be the moment. Can RØKKR break on through? Illy, Shotzi, Fellow locking it down. Priesta going to be the last one up. And look at where you are spawning all the way out Temple side. I don't even know if they're going to get there in time.
10 seconds to win. Empire looking for a berth in the winner's bracket. Despite some of the woes throughout this stage, the team change. They get the win. Empire will live to see the winner's bracket. They get the victory 3-1. And you gotta feel good heading into the major to get a victory considering how this past week has gone. It beat a solid team in RØKKR. And yeah, what an answer back it was to the last hard point.
That happened multiple times throughout that. I mean, Minnesota, they had some opportunities. They did hard. There was 3 hills. There was the 2 P5s. Then also the second hill on the second rotation. Priesta found 3. He was able to push through. And then Dallas broke again. Minnesota, I think, are going to be so frustrated watching that back because all of the opportunities were there for them to capitalize.
Well, once they got that big break, I was like, all right, like, I'm starting to sell the fact they could do this. Maybe we go to a map 5. And then the second I'm done talking and you pick it up, like, Empire's already broke back through. They have 2 at the next hard point. Like, I mean, hard point's crazy. It can flip on its head in an instant, but yeah, not always 20 times throughout the course of one map.
Well, now you gotta think, like, you have Minnesota RØKKR and Opti Chicago both starting an elimination bracket. It's already starting to look a little scary down there.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really any easy matchups right now, just based on the health of the league. But yeah, I guess you could say it looks a little bit scarier on the loser side than maybe it has at any point this.
Pain. All I know is pain, man. I really thought after the crazy 3 rounds in a row on control, Priesta was going off, Standy was going off in the hard point there. It was looking like, you know, we had a shot at clawing our way back into it there. And I was actually wrong. I must have got it mixed up, the hard points. So we actually had bad spawn to start the apocalypse there. I believe we had good spawns for the first map. So, and weren't able to pull that one out. I think we lost by, what, like 9 points in the first hard point, something like that. Like, just, oh, heartbreaker, man. We're now officially the 4th seed of Group B, which means we start in the lower bracket or the loser's bracket. See, now, whenever RØKKR is in the loser's bracket, I call it the lower bracket. It's a psychological thing. You know the vibe. But, yeah, man, Dallas makes it to winner's bracket. Congrats to them. I'm not sure who we play yet. I'm going to try to do some quick math and look at this bracket.
Pretty sure it's the winner of Paris and London.
Whoa, the Europe's going at it and losers round 1, huh? IKON. Let's break down. I don't even want to, but let's break down the apocalypse hard point. It was looking good and then it was looking bad. How do you describe what happened?
Yeah, to me, it came down to just one battle over towards P2 on the second set of rotations. Minnesota did a really nice job to claw back in that first set of rotations. We actually saw in the best play of the game right there, that streak out of Standy. He just absolutely went off over towards P5. And then they were able to take that and chain that into P1. And once they got control of P1, they pushed over towards Temple. And it seemed like for the first 20, 25 seconds that P2 was popped, it was a back and forth the entire time. Unfortunately, towards the end of that, the last 35 seconds or so ended up going towards Dallas, and then they changed that over towards P3. And that's what gave them almost what seemed like an insurmountable lead. At the start of P4, Dallas also had spawns for P4. So if you're Minnesota, you had a choice. You either had to hit through that choke point over towards Temple, or you had to try to push back and try to get spawns. And the only issue, which they did try to get spawns for eventually P4 and P5, but when you do take that route, it takes a solid 15, 20, 25 seconds to even get back there. And then if you don't end up winning the gun battles, then you're giving up a ton of time inside of P4. Ultimately, it was the right decision. They just couldn't hold on long enough. They did get control of P4, but when P5 popped, they ended up getting team wiped, and that was all she wrote. But it was a challenging map. I mean, it was super competitive. They did a nice job. It was just, again, one or two key gun battles here or there. And you have to give Dallas credit. The same exact thing happened in the map 1 Moscow hardpoint. If Illy doesn't go on that crazy 30 streak, then Minnesota ends up winning map 1 too. So it just seemed like there were a couple clutch instances in actually both of the hard points that ended up going Dallas's way, and sometimes that's how it works out.
Yeah, it was tough too because, we've been talking about, RØKKR's hard points looking a lot better. I think we're the only team as of late to even take a map off Toronto, and it was a hard point. They're a pretty freaking good hard point team as well. But yeah, Dallas, they're putting the pieces together. They drop Hook at the beginning of the stage after going up 1-0. 1-0 in groups. And then, they had a shifty rest of the stage, but they're able to finish nicely today and get into the winner's bracket. So congrats to them, although I am a salty Sally, man. That sucks. That puts us in the lowers bracket. It puts us automatically into round 2 of the lower bracket. As IKON mentioned, we will be playing the winner of Paris and London. I believe Paris and London will play on Wednesday, and I'm not sure on the time yet for the next RØKKR match. We'll definitely obviously tweet out as soon as we know. I'm assuming that we will be playing Paris or London on Thursday, because the major does start on Wednesday the 12th. So I think we would play on Thursday the 13th. Don't take my word for it until we announce it officially on the Twitter, but that's what I think might end up happening. You hate to see, you never want to be playing early on a majors week, man. You never want to be playing on Wednesday or Thursday. You want to wait till like Friday night to have to hop on. But hey, we'll take what we're dealt, right? That's how it ended up going. The control looked really good there for a second. I think the first hard point was definitely winnable. That search and destroy, props to Dallas. They looked really good there. We could have won that as well if a couple things go different, but hey, it just wasn't our day today. So any other notes, kind of, now we're officially done, IKON, with the group phase of stage 3. What are your major takeaways specifically with the RØKKR lens going into major 3 next week?
Yeah, what I will say is that even though you're starting in round 2 of the elimination bracket, it's not all terrible because, one, you are going to be playing the winner of Paris or London. London has looked much better as of late, so my early guess would be that would probably be against London. But right now, you would have to think that Minnesota is in a spot where they should be able to beat a team like London. And you just kind of have to change your mindset a little bit to where, you know what, this gives us an opportunity to earn an extra 10 points, right? If you end up beating London, and then once it goes to losers round 3, you're going to end up playing a loser from the winner's bracket anyways. So to me, it just has to be, let's change our mindset. Let's get a win versus Paris or London, and then see who we end up matching up against in elimination bracket round 3. But overall, I think that Minnesota's in a really good spot. I think that their SND is looking okay. That Miami map, it seems like there might have been a little bit of indecisive decisions there. Like, okay, we want to push B, but can't really push the top side of the map. So let's rotate back over towards hotel. Maybe just a few things here, but it could just be that map. And same thing for the hard points. A lot of times it just came down to, if Illy doesn't go on that massive streak, then they win map 1. They would have dropped the S&D. They would have won the control. They would have been up 2-1. So, I mean, sometimes you can be super prepared and you can be ready to go and your strats can be perfect and you can do everything, before the match that you want to do, but you end up getting into a match and there's only, it's the top 48 Call of Duty players in the world. So every one of them has the ability to just say, you know what, right here, this rotation, I'm going to get a 4 spree. I'm going to win this for my squad. And that's what Illy did in map 1. So sometimes you just tip your cap and it is what it is. Now we're going over to major 1 or major 3.
The third major, I'm even saltier because in Illy's victory spotlight interview, they put underneath him that Dallas defeated RØKKR 3-0. That's not what happened. I'm salty, bro. We won a map, all right? We won a map. Wow, man, I'm the worst. We got an unofficial schedule update from Brett Diamond. This is not official. This is just when we think we will play based on the past majors, it's likely that RØKKR will play the winner of Paris versus London on Thursday at 5 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. Central. That is unofficial. But for now, assume Thursday evening. You'll be kicking back on the co-stream with me and IKON. It'll be a good time. Holy shit, I hope we can win. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm bad at maybe how this works, but if we would have beat Dallas just now, we obviously would have been in winner's bracket. We would have gotten an automatic 20 extra points or 10 extra points, really. So even to get back to where we could have been today, we will need to win at least one or two lower bracket matches.
And I will say, what you gain out of getting into winner's bracket is a winner's round 1 matchup against the Atlanta FaZe. So
wait, that's who they're gonna play?
Yeah, so Dallas is gonna play Atlanta in winners round 1.
Psych.
So
we're all right.
it is what it is. Take it for what it's worth.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, listen, they do audit. So I believe Dallas, because they're in the winners bracket, they automatically get like 20. Okay, this is unofficial. I need to do my research, but I'm pretty sure they get 20 points from being up there. Because I know if you get in the absolute top winners, then you get 30 points, right? So I don't know. But I think they get 20 or maybe it's 10. So yeah, if they were to take an L to FaZe and then drop down to the losers, I mean, shoot, we might be playing them again. You never know. It's going to get dicey, dude. That's the crazy thing about this league, is that every damn team is so good, and you never really know what's going to happen. So, guys, that's going to do it for the co-stream today. We went extra long. You got basically a podcast V2 at the beginning there because of the technical issues of the game. So, IKON, it was good to talk COD as always.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
we will be back for Major 3 tournament next weekend. Starts on Wednesday at, I believe it would be 2 p.m. Central is usually when the stream starts. Bizarre stream time there. And then I believe we will play on Thursday in the evening. Make sure to follow RØKKR on Twitter and look out for when we play. We'll definitely let you know, and we'll be around for the co-stream as well. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate you. Make sure to subscribe, like on your way out. And IKON, thanks for joining me. We'll see you guys next time.